After I awakened as Ultraman Noah, the first thing I did was smash the head of the human mecha base. All because I transmigrated into this world where mecha and kaiju run rampant. I should have been awarded the SSS class Yanlong War God based on my perfect exam scores. Me, a top-tier candidate. Yet the high-ranking officials of the Dragon Kingdom forged my results and stripped me of my pilot status. They handed it all over to their grandson, Wang Kai, furious at this blatant injustice. Just as I was about to give up on my dream of becoming a mecha pilot, a notification chime rang in my ear. Ding. Hearing that, I was suddenly overjoyed. Fine, since you won't let me pilot a mecha, then I will just transform into Noah himself. Right now, on a bus heading to the city center, I look at the items that suddenly appeared in my hands, the transformation device and the blast shot. I can't help but feel an indescribable surge of excitement. As an Ultraman fan, I know the true value of the name Nexus better than anyone. This is the Anfin's form of Noah, one of the 4 legendary god-tier ultras. Even though it is just the youth form for now, it is actually powerful enough to completely crush the combat capabilities of most other Ultramen. If I can evolve into the final form later, becoming the legendary god of Ultraman Noah, forget this tiny blue planet. I would be an unparalleled existence throughout the entire universe. However, the awkward part right now is that in this juvenile state, I can only grow into my next form by absorbing other energy sources. Meanwhile, at the Beijing City Mecha and Kaiju base, this is bad. A Kaiju energy signature has been detected in the city. The energy level of the Kaiju appearing this time is level 6. It is a rare, high-level great Kaiju. Just as mechas vary in strength, the Kaiju attacking the blue planet are no different. Currently, people classify the danger levels of Kaiju from low to high into 10 distinct ranks, ranging from level 1 to level 10. Any Kaiju above level 5 is classified as a great Kaiju. Standing at least 40 to 50 meters tall, they are extremely difficult to deal with. Anything level 7 or above would cause catastrophic destruction to the human world. At this moment, Director Li, the head of the Beijing base, is absolutely livid after receiving the report from his subordinates. These damn monsters, I will see them all in hell. They just keep coming one after another. Is there no end to this? Issue the order immediately. Have Huang Yan deploy the Wasp Raider. Destroy that Kaiju before the disaster escalates any further. The Wasp Raider is Beijing's strongest SS-class mecha, specializing in agile surprise attacks. It is a rare flight-capable mecha that pushes power and speed to the limit. To make the mecha lightweight and increase its velocity, it sacrificed some of its defensive armor, but the power generated from that sheer speed is incredibly potent. It is said to be able to slice through anything. With his command given, the alloy armored gates above the base swing open. Huang Yan, piloting the Wasp Raider, soars into the sky, heading straight for the target zone. Meanwhile, sitting on the bus playing with my phone, I suddenly feel an inexplicable tremor deep within my soul. In just a few short seconds, I have already pinpointed the exact location of the Kaiju. Is this the precognition ability that awakened along with my Ultraman form? The driver, still oblivious to the impending danger, continues to drive diligently. Suddenly, a low rumble echoes. The ground begins to shake faintly. The next second, a Kaiju, looking like a giant pangolin, erupts from deep underground. The ground collapses instantly, leaving a massive, gaping crater. Just as I am about to pull out the Evolve Thruster to transform into Ultraman Nexus, a massive yellow and black shadow drops in a straight line from the sky. In the blink of an eye, it slams into the ground. As the dust settles, I finally see what that giant figure is. The SS-class mecha, Wasp Raider. So he is the one heading out. This is going to be a good show. Accompanied by a massive roar, the monster faced the sudden appearance of the giant mecha as it began to move. Although Huang Yan was arrogant, he was not conceited. He did not rush into the fight. While confronting the monster, he contacted the base to learn about his opponent's traits. Command room, is the data analysis on this monster out yet? Huang Yan, this pangolin monster is 28 meters tall and 60 meters long. Its claws and teeth are incredibly sharp. Whatever you do, do not get hit. With the defense of the Wasp Assault mecha, it probably won't survive a single strike. Additionally, the monster's throat shows a staggering energy signature. Preliminary guesses suggest it has the ability to fire energy blasts. You must be extremely careful. Understood. as expected of a level 6 monster. It is definitely on another level compared to the ones before. Only a powerful opponent like this can actually pique my interest. Guangyan, just stall the monster for now. 2 A-class mecha reinforcements are about to arrive on site. When they do, the 3 of you will launch a coordinated attack. Wipe the enemy out in one fell swoop. Fine, I got it. Guangyan had already made up his mind. He would keep the monster busy for a while before the reinforcements arrived. Unfortunately, luck was not on his side. He wanted to stall for time and wait for backup, but the monster was not going to play along. The next second, before he could even react, the pangolin monster charged fiercely toward the wasp assault. Guangyan was startled by the sudden charge, not daring to face it head-on. He quickly piloted the wasp assault into the air. He then activated the energy cannons mounted on his shoulders, aimed at the pangolin monster, and opened fire. Boom. Explosive flames completely engulfed the monster. Smoke filled the sky, spreading across a radius of several kilometers. However, because the monster has a thick layer of scales, its defense is exceptionally high. The firepower of the wasp assault was not enough to break its armor, and because of this bombardment, the monster grew even more hateful and disgusted toward this giant flying mecha in front of it. It tilted its head back and unleashed a barrage of fireballs into the sky. Guangyan did not dare to land for the moment. He could only rely on his agility, circling and dodging in mid-air while drawing the monster's attention. At the same time, the battle between the wasp assault and the pangolin monster was being captured by national satellites and broadcast globally. Many people were watching Huang Yan's performance. Some felt the wasp assault was playing it steady and doing well, but others thought his performance was way too cowardly. It was not satisfying to watch at all. The comment section of the live stream was a total mess. Meanwhile, Huang Yan had no idea he was being cyberbullied, because the only thing in his eyes was the enemy. Although he dodged the fireballs from the monster, he did not know when the next volley would come, so he did not dare to be careless for a single second, constantly monitoring every single move of the pangolin monster. From a distance, as I watched Huang Yan's maneuvers, I could not really find any fault with them. When facing such a tanky enemy, you need someone to provide support, to create an opening for a decisive strike. If one were to blindly rush in to fight, it would surely be a suicide mission. A moment later, as the monster's continuous attacks failed to hit, it simply gave up on its target. It turned around and headed straight for the city center. A dense aura of life there was drawing it in. It was less than 30 kilometers from the downtown area. Once the pangolin monster entered the city, it would inevitably cause massive destruction to Beijing City. At this point, Director Li began to panic. Huang Yan, you cannot let that monster enter the city limits. Attack the monster and draw its attention. No matter what, you must stop its advance. Copy that. Having received the order, Huang Yan had no other choice. He had to scrap the original strategy. He used the shoulder cannons to unleash a continuous barrage of energy blasts at the monster. The surrounding mountains and forests, under the Hornet Strikers' relentless assault, were soon engulfed in a massive blaze. The pangolin monster, likely unable to withstand the scorching heat of the flames, began to crawl even faster. Seeing that the monster was not falling for the bait, Huang Yan began to panic. Damn it, this beast is not taking the bait at all. It is completely ignoring me. How much longer until backup arrives? If I have to, I will try a surprise raid. I will see if I can hit the monster's eyes, its rear, or any other vital spots. Attacking the backside might sound a bit dirty, but for most monsters, that area is indeed a vulnerable spot they can't defend. However, just as Huang Yan was preparing to make his move, 2 massive, heavy-duty mechas suddenly appeared in Huang Yan's line of sight. The designs of these 2 mechas were nearly identical. They hovered in mid-air, advancing rapidly. On the backs of the 2 mechas, the designations Beijing A4 and Beijing A6 were clearly imprinted. Reinforcements have arrived. Huang Yan, do not be reckless. Proceed according to the original battle plan. Thud thud. The commotion caused by the 2 mechas landing was enough to make the earth tremble and the mountains shake, and at this moment, the pangolin monster was also intimidated by the sheer presence of the 2 heavy mechas landing. It stopped its advance, staring forward in confusion. Engage. Pin the monster down and create an opening for the Hornet Striker. Yes, sir. The pilots of the 2 heavy mechas received their orders and immediately drove their machines forward, charging at the monster. The pangolin monster was likely spooked by the intimidating aura of the 2 heavy mechas. It instantly spat out 2 fireballs, targeting each of the heavy mechas. A speed-type mecha like the Hornet Striker could easily dodge the monster's fireball attacks, but these 2 heavy mechas did not possess such agility. They could only raise their arms in defense while continuing their charge. Fortunately, the arms of the heavy mechas were equipped with thick shield-like gauntlets, which effectively boosted their defensive capabilities, along with the explosion of the fireballs. The impact of the blasts halted the forward momentum of the two heavy mechas. Their feet sank deep into the ground, just as the two pilots were about to pull their mecha's feet from the earth. Bam! The leading mecha was instantly tackled and flipped by the pangolin monster. It was pinned to the ground, enduring a savage thrashing. The monster's strength was staggering. Even the defensive power of a heavy mecha struggled to hold its ground. Layer by layer, the thick outer armor was being torn away. The pilot instantly panicked, screaming frantically for help. In his field of vision, this 30-meter-tall behemoth before him was like a demon, tearing his machine's body apart. Don't panic. I am coming. Taking advantage of the monster's focus being entirely on the other mecha, Guang Yan pushed the Hornet Striker into a full-speed sprint. He swung the Hornet blades on both arms with everything he had. Clang clang. The Hornet blades' offensive power certainly did not disappoint. They actually managed to slice right through the pangolin's hide. The monster's protective outer scales were breached, and the blades bit deep into its flesh. Roar! The pangolin monster let out a wretched scream of agony. It became extremely berserk. A crisis also arrived at this very moment. Oh no! The hornet blades are stuck in the monster's flesh. I can't pull them out. The problem is the hornet blades are hardwired to the hornet striker's arms. If the blades can't be pulled out, the hornet striker is dead in the water. It is being dragged around uncontrollably by the armored kaiju. Before it even had a chance to struggle, it was slammed violently into the ground by the monster's tail. However, the blade remains stuck. The hornet striker's armor is way too thin. It can't take more than a couple of hits. We have to rescue them immediately. Otherwise, we are all toast. Understood. Beijing A6 finally managed to pull its feet out of the ground. Just as it moved to help Hornet Striker retrieve the Hornet Blade, the armored kaiju suddenly swung the other unit right at it. Boom! The two mechas collided. Beijing A6, a heavy-duty mecha, was actually sent flying. One can only imagine the sheer power behind that strike. This is bad. Hornet Striker has sustained critical damage. It is about to lose all mobility. The technicians are freaking out. In this current situation, they are completely out of options. I will handle this. At that moment, Beijing A4 forced itself up from the ground. Even though several of its components had been torn off, it was still operational. Beijing A4 spread its arms wide and lunged forward to grab the armored kaiju's head, attempting to restrain the monster's movements. However, the monster's strength was freakishly immense. Even with every ounce of power, the mecha could not hold it down. Instead, it was shaken off and slammed heavily into the dirt. The armored kaiju opened its terrifying maw. A massive fireball began to condense, aiming directly at Beijing A4. A point-blank ultimate move like this. Forget Beijing A4 being just an A-class heavy mecha. Even if it were an SSS-class, heavy-duty armor, it might not survive the blast. Witnessing this scene, Director Lee's blood pressure skyrocketed in rage. He roared into the command center's microphone. This is not good. Beijing A4, find a way to dodge it now. You cannot let that fireball hit you. You will be killed. I can't. The mecha's damage is too severe. I can't break free in time. The pilot of Beijing A4 closed his eyes. Resigned to his fate, he prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. But just then, swish, a streak of light appeared. A radiance descending from the heavens struck the monster, just as the fireball was about to reach full charge, violently knocking it back. The crippled Beijing A4 barely escaped the clutches of death. Now, everyone's eyes are fixed on that sudden, brilliant light. The light rapidly coalesced, transforming into a giant over 40 meters tall. A silver-gray titan stood there. This is my transformation, Ultraman Nexus. Anfin's mode has officially entered the fray. What is that thing? Is it a new kaiju? At this moment, even the highly experienced Director Lee could not figure out what Ultraman Nexus actually was. Even the Supreme Commander of the Combat Department, Yanlong, who never watches live broadcasts, was filled with confusion upon hearing about the Silver Giant's appearance. He stared intently at the screen. So, this is what it feels like to be an Ultraman. I feel power surging through my entire body. I feel invincible. However, while I was basking in the moment, the armored kaiju rolled over and scrambled back up. Right now, the monster sensed an unprecedented threat. It let out a deafening roar at me, attempting to drive away the fear in its heart. Seeing this, I dropped into a combat stance. But in this Nexus Anfin's mode, there are no weapons available. I will just have to use my fists for some good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. Boom boom boom. The pangolin monster launches a charge, rushing straight at me with full speed. But I do not feel a shred of fear. I charge head-on to meet it. It is just a mere low-level monster. Did it really think its strength could rival Nexus? Today, I am going to take you down face to face. However, this pangolin monster clearly does not play by the rules. Just a meter away, it suddenly curls its entire body, exposing nothing but its thick scales, turning into a massive iron ball, and rolling toward me. I am not surprised by this move at all. Creatures like pangolins or hedgehogs always choose to curl into a ball when facing a powerful enemy. They aim their hard shells or sharp quills right at the opponent. Watching that giant iron ball hurtling toward me, I clench my right fist, concentrating my energy. Wrapped in a faint golden glow, I throw a devastating punch. Boom! A terrifying power explodes. Beyond everyone's expectations, the monster is actually sent flying by a single punch. And that is not all. If you look closely, the spot where I hit the monster has turned into a bloody mess. The Hornet strike unit used its full power with the Hornet blade, and barely managed to scratch the enemy's defense. Yet I broke its guard with just one casual punch. Such a staggering difference in power leaves the entire audience utterly shell-shocked. How can that silver giant be so strong? Can we detect what his danger level is? Hearing Director Lee's question, the technician could not help but wipe the cold sweat from his forehead. Reporting, sir. According to the readings, the silver giant's danger level is. According to the readings, the silver giant's danger level is. What is it? Out with it, stop beating around the bush. It is 9.0, and it is still rising. It is almost at 9.1 now. The danger level of this silver giant is currently beyond our measurement limits. What? A monster exceeding level 9.0? Are you kidding me right now? Director Lee is so shocked he nearly jumps out of his skin. You have to understand, until now, humanity has never faced a level 9.0 threat. Years ago, just to deal with a level 8.0 monster, several small nations were completely wiped out in the conflict. Now that a level 9.0 entity has appeared, to him, there is no difference between this and the end of the world. At this very moment, he actually hopes the pangolin monster could be a bit stronger. Ideally, it could take the silver giant down with it. That way, all his problems would be solved at once. Accompanied by the monster's agonizing screeches, my confidence grows even more. I leap forward, crossing hundreds of meters through the air, pinning the pangolin monster to the ground and unleashing a brutal beatdown. Boom, boom, boom. Punch after punch slams into the pangolin monster. The creature howls in pain under the relentless assault, even though it struggles desperately. Against such an overwhelming power gap, its attempts at resistance are practically non-existent. This scene leaves the bystanders, including Huang Yan and the others, completely dazed. They have never seen anything like this before. A massive level 6 monster is being pinned down and pulverized without any chance to fight back. While Huang Yan is still in awe, Director Lee's voice crackles in his ear. Huang Yan, do you copy? Listen to my command. Help the monster and attack the silver giant. Before the words even settle, Huang Yan's mind goes blank. It is not that he does not want to attack Nexus, but the sheer brutality of the scene before him is honestly terrifying. What if he actually makes Nexus angry? Taking down the Wasp Assault's armor is easier than peeling a Kaiju. That silver giant is currently an unprecedented level 9 monster. If we leave him unchecked, his power is enough to bring about the end of the world. Do you understand? Huang Yan dared not hesitate any longer. He immediately scrambled up from the ground. Although the Wasp Assault was at its wit's end at this point, he overcame his fear, raised the Wasp blade, and swung it out. Seeing Huang Yan about to make a move on me, without a second thought, I grabbed with both hands the Kaiju's tail to use as a weapon, slamming it violently toward the incoming Wasp Assault. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion erupted. The Wasp Assault's frame was completely pulverized by my strike. Pieces were scattered everywhere, a pathetic sight. A legendary machine that once boasted a record of 8 consecutive victories has now been consigned to history. Huang Yan. Director Lee screamed Huang Yan's name at the top of his lungs. The damage to Wasp Assault was so severe that the hope of survival was slim to none. However, at that moment, Beijing A4 and A6 also managed to stand back up. At first, the 2 mecha pilots were reluctant to follow the order, but once they saw the Wasp Assault get blown to bits, willingness was no longer the issue. In their eyes, even if they did not act now, this Ultraman would eventually kill them anyway. Driven by that thought, they charged at full speed, crashing forward with everything they had. You really have a death wish, do not you? Fine, I will grant it for you. I grabbed the armored Kaiju's tail and swung it across. Rumble. The 2 heavy mechas were detonated by the Kaiju's massive body. Debris and parts flew in every direction. Thus, the 3 mechas deployed by the Beijing mecha base were completely wiped out. Immediately after, I hoisted up the armored Kaiju, which was now barely clinging to life, and hurled it into the sky with all my might. A golden beam of light shot from my wrist. Cross-ray storm. THOOM. The Kaiju's body was instantly vaporized by the beam, turning into nothing but ash. The fire from the explosion dyed the sky red. Amidst the roaring thunder, a system voice echoed in my ear. Congratulations, host, on defeating a level 6 Kaiju. Current red youth form unlock progress. 10%. Keep up the good work. I took down a level 6 monster and only got 10%. Unlocking Noah is going to take forever at this rate. Besides, a level 6 kaiju is already a very rare specimen. One might not even show up for months. I rolled my eyes inwardly. Looking down at my surroundings, I saw that the 3 mecha pilots were still alive, though they were all heavily injured. None were in critical condition. Since you 3 were just following orders in ignorance, I will give you a pass this time, but if you ever dare to attack me again, I won't be so merciful. After confirming the area was clear, I crossed my arms. The dazzling light radiating from my body began to fade. Transformation cancelled. I finally vanished into the crowd. Meanwhile, the livestream viewers were bewildered by Nexus's sudden disappearance. They could not wrap their heads around it. Wait, how did the silver giant just vanish? Where did he go? A heated debate broke out among the public. One side of humanity, for various reasons, hailed Nexus as a righteous hero, but the other side argued that someone who blows up 3 mechas is no different from a kaiju. As for those online arguments, I could not care less. After reverting to my human form, I took a bus back to the city center. Being an orphan myself, ever since I left the mecha training base, I have been staying at the home of my college classmate, Li Lingling. I even had her help me complete my studies at school. After spending a night at Lingling's place, I hopped online and immediately saw news about the silver giant. At a press conference, some experts specializing in kaiju research were explaining their findings on the giant's data. As soon as their conclusion was released, the silver giant instantly became the top trending topic. Watching those experts and their sophisticated analysis, I could not help but nod. These people actually make a lot of sense, though I still do not know what my actual danger level is. Regarding the danger level of Nexus's Amphen's form, I do not really have a clear grasp of it yet. I just know it is incredibly powerful. After watching for a while, I stopped paying attention to this useless information. But then a pop-up notification appeared. The message piqued my interest intensely. The SSS class mecha, Yanlong War God and another unit, will arrive at the Beijing mecha base at 8:00 p.m. tonight to execute the mission of defending Beijing City. Citizens of Beijing, please do not panic. 2 SSS class mechas will definitely protect the peace of Beijing City. If things had gone as planned, the Yanlong War God should have been my mecha. But thanks to the dirty backroom deals of the higher-ups, I ended up losing my chance to pilot it. I still hold a bitter grudge over this, and simply cannot forgive them. A bold idea suddenly flashed through my mind. So Yanlong War God arrives at the Beijing base tonight. In that case, I think I should go out and stretch my legs tonight. If I can't pilot the Yanlong War God, then no one else gets to be its pilot either, especially not Wang Kai. Watching that idiot show off in the Yanlong War God would be more nauseating than eating trash. I have made up my mind. Tonight, I am going to tear the Yanlong War God apart, and no one is going to stop me. Nightfall arrived quickly. Crimson Typhoon, Yanlong War God, and 2 other SS-class mechas were all transported to the Beijing mecha base. Director Li called several pilots to his office for a briefing. The pilot of Crimson Typhoon is Li Lu. He has personally eliminated 15 monsters, and even took down a level 5 kaiju, all by himself. He became famous overnight after that battle. He is a star-level mecha pilot. Meanwhile, the pilot for Yanlong War God is the only rookie with 0 combat experience, Wang Kai. Everyone else is quite resentful towards this 3rd-generation official who relied on connections to get the qualification to pilot an SSS class mecha. However, they were all too afraid to speak up. After all, he has powerful backing. Offending him would only cause trouble for themselves. Director Li stood before them with a stern expression. His aura as a high-ranking official immediately commanded the room. He was naturally intimidating without even trying. I assume you all know about the Silver Giant by now. Upon hearing Silver Giant, Li Lu and the other pilots turned serious. They knew that coming to Beijing City this time meant they might face the legendary Silver Giant, a super creature with a danger level over 9.0. Against a monster of that caliber, even humanity's strongest SSS class mechas would likely struggle to gain any advantage. I won't say much more. If the Silver Giant truly appears to destroy the city and harm humanity, I hope you all will do your utmost to stop it. Hearing this, Li Lu righteously declared his resolve and vowed to be ready for combat at any moment. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Wang Kai glanced at everyone with total indifference. That Silver Giant might not even show up, right? Maybe he was just passing through. He has probably already moved on to another city by now. Among the crowd, Wang Kai was the only one who did not look nervous at all. He had never truly set foot on a real battlefield. He had never come face to face with the sheer terror of a kaiju. Defeating monsters countless times in combat simulations had clearly gone to his head. He thought those monsters were nothing more than target practice. Even if that Silver Giant's danger level exceeded 9.0, no, he did not care. But what he did not realize is that an SSS-class mecha means nothing when facing a truly godlike opponent. I have got an SSS-class mecha. You think I would actually lose to some silver giant? As soon as those words left his mouth, the others shot him looks of pure disgust. They already despised this third-generation, Nepo baby, who used connections to get ahead. Now that Wang Kai was talking such brainless nonsense, it only made them hate him more. Seeing this, Director Li's gaze turned cold, piercing through Wang Kai like a sharpened blade. Regardless of whether the silver giant shows up or not, we must maintain absolute vigilance at all times. That is the most basic discipline of a warrior. Wang Kai, are you telling me you do not even have that much resolve? Intimidated by Director Li's intense glare, Wang Kai was suddenly at a loss for words. Director Li had been in a foul mood for the past 2 days. Wang Kai had essentially walked right into the line of fire. However, Wang Kai was Lin Zhenwei's grandson after all, so Director Li did not dare push him too far. After a brief warning, he said nothing more, and dismissed the group. At the same time, I soon arrived outside the Beijing Mecha base. This place is massive, spanning an area equivalent to 100 football fields. And that is just the surface level. There is an even more vast and complex space underground. I used to dream of becoming a mecha pilot, serving my country and the Beijing Mecha base, guarding this land, and becoming a hero in people's eyes. But now, because of Wang Kai, those dreams of the future have been shattered. Beijing Mecha base. If you want to blame someone, blame Wang Kai. It is all because of that piece of trash. My only target is the Yanlong war god. I hope you do not go looking for trouble, and end up maximizing your own losses. With that said, I pulled out the Evolthruster and transformed. Whoosh! A pillar of golden light surged into the heavens, illuminating the entire sky with its radiance. Many inside the base witnessed this pillar of light, but they had no idea what was about to happen next. Only when the silver Anfin's form of Nexus emerged from the light did they realize the silver giant had arrived. Wait, hold on, the silver giant. The silver giant has appeared. The mecha base's alarms blared instantly. The sharp, piercing siren jolted everyone inside the facility. Total panic ensued. They had suspected the silver giant might reappear, but they never imagined he would show up directly at the mecha base. If the silver giant decided to attack the base directly, the casualties would be catastrophic. Director Li was freaking out. He frantically ordered all pilots at the Beijing base to scramble their mechas immediately. But starting up a mecha takes time. To buy a few precious moments, Director Li ordered all defensive batteries to full power. If the silver giant so much as twitched, they would open fire. However, contrary to expectations, the silver giant did not take any action after appearing. He just stood there, as if he were waiting for something. Director Li had never encountered a situation like this before. His face was a mask of confusion. What is that guy doing? Is he not here to attack the base? Meanwhile, Director Li's daughter, Li Lingling, was standing on the base's observation tower. She watched this so-called giant monster from a distance. She remained calm, showing not a single trace of fear. It was as if he was certain nothing major would happen. The silver giant remained motionless for a long time. Li Lingling closed her eyes. Hello, Ultraman. Her voice suddenly exploded within my mind. Who is there? Who is speaking? The sudden voice of a girl gave me quite a jump. I really did not expect this. To think someone could use telekinesis to transmit their voice directly into my head. Even more surprising was that she knew I was an Ultraman, instead of just calling me a silver giant. Don't panic. Just like you, I am also an Ultraman. May I ask for your name? Li Lingling's voice echoed in my mind once more. You are an Ultraman too. So I am not the only Ultraman in this world after all. I always thought I was the chosen one, the exception. I never imagined someone else could also transform into an Ultraman. And that person is a girl. My name is Nexus, or you can call me Noah. I told her my name honestly. I just wanted to see if she knew the legend of the god of Ultra, the mighty Noah. Then I will call you Noah. My Ultra name is Grigio. Grigio. You are Grigio. Hearing the name Grigio, I nearly lost my cool. She is the legendary combat medic among Ultramen. In her debut, she healed 3 Ultramen on the brink of death, restoring them to full power instantly. That was her claim to fame. You have heard of me. Li Lingling was stunned. From his tone, he clearly knew who Grigio was, and he seemed to know quite a lot. But until now, she had never transformed in public. How did he know? Of course I know you. You are just a support healer. Your combat stats are rock bottom. What? Do you plan on stopping me? A support healer? Li Lingling was speechless and wanted to snap back, but she was certain the silver giant really knew Grigio, because that description was spot on. A second later, she did not have time to overthink. I quickly pinpointed Li Lingling's location. I also saw her face. So it is you. I found you. Li Lingling panicked instantly. You. What exactly do you want? You are human like me, are not you? As a human, surely you won't do anything to harm humanity. I have no intention of harming humans. I just have some some business that I need to take care of. If you do not want this disaster to escalate, I suggest you stay out of my way. Otherwise, I won't mind cleaning you up along with the rest. While the two were talking, the Yanlong War God and Crimson Typhoon, the two SSS-class mechas, along with 3 SS-class mechas, Yellow Rock Heavy Armor, Enchanting Blue Siren and Night King were all ready. They were fully prepped. The pilots manned the 5 mechas and appeared on the base's open field. Using my ultra eyes, I saw right through them. My gaze locked onto the Yanlong War God. When I saw that the pilot was indeed Wang Kai, my fury reached a boiling point. Good. Very well, you falsified my results and pushed me out, and in the end, you handed the Yanlong War God to this piece of trash. If I do not tear that Yanlong War God into scrap metal today, then I do not deserve to be called Nexus. After standing still for what felt like an eternity, I finally reached my limit and made my move. I charged straight at the Yanlong War God with full force. Thud thud thud. With every step I took, the ground trembled violently. Everyone present could feel the terrifying shockwaves. Fire. Following Director Lee's command, the base's entire defensive perimeter opened fire. Beams of light and artillery shells rained down upon me. Seeing this, my entire body erupted in a blinding radiance. In an instant, my running speed increased tenfold. I turned into a mere afterimage, evading every single incoming strike. I lunged right in front of the Yanlong War God and delivered a direct bone-crushing punch. This technique is known as Mach Move. It allows for a sudden burst of energy to boost speed instantly. Many Ultramen are masters of this skill. Whoosh! Even though the Yanlong War God stood taller than my Nexus form, it could not muster even a shred of resistance. It was sent flying hundreds of meters back. The Yanlong War God crashed, crushing a massive section of the base's buildings. Director Lee was utterly dumbfounded. So fast, the speed that Silver Giant displayed just now, it completely defies everything I know. How can something that massive move with such velocity? Forget about that for now. Save the Yanlong War God, quickly. Director Lee shouted orders in a panicked frenzy. Whether it is the Yanlong War God or Wang Kai, if those two get taken out together at the Beijing Mecha base today, then his career as a director will likely reach a dead end. Yes, sir. The others immediately sprang into action. The Blue Siren fired several high-pressure water bolts at my head. These water bolts are terrifying weapons formed through extreme compression. They are powerful enough to pierce straight through a mountain. However, I have known about the danger of these bolts for a long time. Naturally, I was not going to take them head-on. With a simple sidestep, I dodged them effortlessly. The King of Dark Night is a rare mecha capable of stealth. Its entire body is covered in a specialized monster hide. Once the cloaking function is activated, it becomes completely invisible. It can deliver a lethal blow from the shadows. It is a notorious assassin among mechas. With a faint whistle of wind, the cloaked King of Dark Night, wielding an ion sword, thrust the blade toward my neck, attempting to end my life in one strike. But such cheap tricks can't fool me. The King of Dark Night might be invisible, but the sound of its movement does not disappear with it. I tracked its location by sound, and countered with a swift handblade light beam. Boom! The beam hit the King of Dark Knight's abdomen with pinpoint accuracy. Sparks flew everywhere, forcing it out of its cloaked state. Seeing the situation, the Yellow Rock Heavy Armor charged at me in a panic. Facing this big guy, I could not be bothered to waste time with him. After all, this thing is a super heavyweight mecha. Its defense and raw power are top tier, but it is incredibly slow, and it lacks any formidable long-range attacks. I leaped high into the air, landing behind the Yanlong War God, who had just managed to stand up. Focusing energy into both hands, I brought them down in a fierce chop. Both of the Yanlong War God's arms were severed by my twin hand blade strikes. This kind of Ultra Blade is a standard skill, shared by all Ultramen. However, its actual power depends entirely on the individual strength of the Ultraman. My hand blade attack just now, I have already exerted all of my strength. If I still can't tear off both arms of the Yanlong War God, then that would truly be a joke. You bastard! Wang Kai has a breaking point too. Even though the Yanlong War God's arms were torn off, stripping it of its primary weapons. In a fit of pure rage, he actually piloted the Yanlong War God to ram straight into me. A tens of thousands of tons hunk of metal still packs quite a punch. Being hit that hard was a bit much, even for me. I stumbled back several steps, although it did not cause me any real damage. To many people watching on the scene, this strike undoubtedly sounded the horn for the human counterattack. Now's our chance. Director Lee seized the moment and fired several laser beams at me. As an SSS-class mecha, Crimson Typhoon's greatest feature is its ultra-powerful integrated weapon system. Its firepower is enough to easily level an entire city. Boom! 2 laser beams slammed into my body. A searing pain instantly surged through me. Director Lee pressed the advantage. He wanted to continue the assault with his laser cannons. I countered with 2 hand slices, cleaving right through the laser muzzles of Crimson Typhoon. Director Lee could no longer use his laser beams. He immediately unsheathed his blade. He charged at me alongside the Yellow Rock heavy armor. I activated Mach speed movement again, accelerating in an instant. I got behind the Yanlong War God. I delivered a powerful flying kick. Thud. The Yanlong War God was sent flying. It slammed squarely into the Yellow Rock heavy armor. Although the Yanlong War God is SSS class armor, it is not a heavy-duty defensive type. The head-on collision instantly knocked loose many of its outer components, and the Yellow Rock heavy armor, taking such a hit from the Yanlong War God, inevitably toppled over. Swish swish. The blue siren fired off water arrows. With quick eyes and hands, I dodged them, while grabbing 2 of the arrows mid-air. Then I whipped them right back at the Yanlong War God. The Yanlong War God's chest and abdomen were instantly pierced by the water arrows. 2 gaping holes appeared right through it. Crimson Typhoon rushed to the front. He threw a punch. I caught Crimson Typhoon's fist with one hand. With a low sweep of my leg, Crimson Typhoon immediately lost its balance. It crashed to the side. The sound of a giant mecha hitting the ground was nothing short of earth-shattering. The Night King pounced on me. Even without its stealth capability, the Night King is still an expert in close-quarters combat. I spun around and delivered a flying kick. It landed right on the Night King's chest. Boom. The Night King was kicked 1,000 meters away. Even its chest armor was severely deformed from the impact. A second later, the Night King hit the ground and skidded for a long distance, leaving a clear, deep trench in the earth. A massive amount of parts scattered everywhere. That one strike completely stripped the Night King of its ability to fight. The blue siren still would not give up. It kept relentlessly firing water arrows. It was getting beyond annoying. Predicting its trajectory, I charged up and fired 2 hand slices. They instantly struck the blue siren's abdomen, tearing a massive hole right through it. The blue siren's high-speed body lost balance. It tumbled to the ground in a pathetic heap. I could not be bothered with it. My eyes were back on the Yanlong War God. What I want is to turn the Yanlong War God into scrap metal. Although it has already lost both arms, and had many components blasted off, but damage at this level can be fully repaired within a month at most. It is still far from meeting my standards. I dash forward, grabbing the Yanlong War God's head with one hand, and twisting its neck with the other. Then, with a forceful wrench, the Yanlong War God's head was just ripped clean off by my bare hands. A standard mecha's cockpit is usually located in the head. Losing its head means the Yanlong War God is completely paralyzed and rendered immobile. Director Lee is losing his mind. I literally hold Wang Kai's life in my palm right now. If the Yanlong War God's head explodes, Wang Kai is history. Attention all units. Open fire on the silver giant with everything you have got. Don't let him harm the Yanlong War God's pilot. Boom 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 boom. Missiles and beam cannons are launched all at once. I did not actually plan on killing Wang. My only goal in coming here was to dismantle the Yanlong War God. The thought of taking a life never even crossed my mind. Seeing the base's defensive firepower assaulting me so fiercely, I simply take the Yanlong War God's head and hurl it straight into the incoming barrage. Then I deploy an energy barrier to block the remaining attacks. I did not kill Wang Kai. If Wang Kai really gets blown to bits in that crossfire, they only have their reckless shooting to blame for his death. It has got nothing to do with me. Rumble, rumble. Numerous missiles and beams find their mark. The Yanlong War God's head erupts in flames. That poor mecha head endured an onslaught it was never meant to take. Explosions flicker one after another. Thud. Having survived the baptism of fire, the Yanlong War God's head finally hits the deck, smashing into the ground and cracking the concrete. Credit where credit is due. The Yanlong War God's head is one tough nut to crack. Despite being hit by so many shells, it stubbornly refused to disintegrate. However, Wang Kai inside has likely blacked out, fainted from pure terror. Just a moment ago, he probably thought he was a goner. Who knew the Yanlong War God's defense would barely pull him back from the brink. After the round of bombardment ends, I quickly charge up and release the cross-ray storm, striking the remains of the Yanlong War God lying on the ground. The wreckage of the Yanlong War God explodes, reduced completely to scrap metal. Now, it is beyond any hope of repair, unless they build a brand new one from scratch. Just like that, an SSS-class mecha was utterly destroyed. Watching from the shadows, Li Lingling finally can't take it anymore. She assumes that after the fall of the Yanlong War God, I will move on to the others, and dismantle every single one of those mechas. If these mechas are truly wiped out tonight, not only is the Beijing City base finished, but her father, Director Li, is also doomed. For the sake of Beijing City, and for her father, she can only pull out the Euro Flasher to transform. Flash. Another pillar of light piercing the sky appears within the base. Everyone is struck with utter shock. The previous pillar of light wrought a silver giant. What will this pillar of light bring this time? As the light fades, a silver giant with distinctively feminine features appears before everyone's eyes. Ultraman Grigio has arrived. A silver giant. Yet another silver giant. What on earth is going on? Why is there another silver giant? Just how many silver giants are there? Director Lee is on the verge of tears. A single silver giant was already more than they could handle. And now another one has appeared. Is the universe truly conspiring against me? At this moment, panic is spreading like wildfire through the base. After Li Lingling transformed into Grigio and appeared, some people even began to desert their ranks. They abandoned their posts outright. Li Lu and the other mecha pilots are also completely dazed. What on earth is going on? How is there another silver giant? Their mechas have already been beaten to a pulp. If another silver giant joins the fray, they will lose the will to keep fighting entirely. However, to everyone's surprise, after Grigio appeared, she did not launch an attack on the base. Instead, she took a combat stance directed at me. This situation left everyone in utter shock. What is the deal? That female giant seems to be targeting the silver one. She is squaring up for a fight against the giant. Does she intend to stop him? A wild thought popped into Director Lee's head. Though he find it hard to believe two giants would fight each other. But the way things look now, that seems to be exactly what is happening. If he only knew that the female giant is his own daughter, Li Lingling, he would probably pass out on the spot. I cracked my neck and turned my gaze toward Li Lingling. You finally showed up. I thought you would just keep playing the spectator. Do you really think a healer like you can stop me? I do not know if I can stop you, but I have to try. I can't just stand by and watch you run amok here. Li Lingling's defiant voice can only be heard by the two of us. No one else can hear it. To everyone else's ears, they only hear the battle cries of two Ultramen. Li Lu is dumbfounded. Are they communicating? Is it possible that female giant is here to help us? Even though he thinks his own idea is ridiculous, he can't shake that feeling. I raised my hand and beckoned Li Lingling with a finger. I provoked her, saying, "Then show me what you have got." Li Lingling said no more. She let out a shout to psych herself up and charged straight at me. Her delicate fist swung toward my chest. I caught it effortlessly, easily holding Li Lingling's fist in my hand. Your strength is pathetic. Even among Ultramen, there are levels to this, and I am the one at the top. With that said, I delivered a swift kick. I did not hold back just because Li Lingling is a girl. Thud. Li Lingling was sent tumbling by the kick. She curled up, clutching her stomach in intense pain. I bent down and grabbed Li Lingling by the shoulders, lifting her up. If you can't even handle this much pain, do you even deserve to be an Ultraman? Then I threw her with all my might. Li Lingling was sent flying over 100 meters, crushing two buildings as she landed. I took heavy, deliberate strides, walking toward Li Lingling step by step. Li Lingling was trembling from the pain, yet she stubbornly crawled back up from the ground. I know I might be no match for you, but for the sake of everything I love, I have to stand my ground. I walked up to Li Lingling and grabbed her by the neck. If you truly want to protect what you love, then work hard to get stronger. Become stronger than anyone else. The weak can't protect anything. You know what? I did not realize it at first, but thank you for making me understand the way of the world now. The moment those words left my mouth, Li Lingling attempted a sneak attack with a knee strike, as if a low-level move like that could ever land a hit on me. I blocked it effortlessly. Then I tossed Li Lingling aside. She crashed, leveling several more buildings, for some unknown reason. As Director Lee watched the female giant being beaten, he felt a sharp, stabbing pain in his heart. Why does my heart ache so much? Am I actually pitying that female giant? They are two giants fighting each other. Regardless of who wins, it should not affect me. No, that is not right. The silver giant is brutal and ferocious, but the female giant seems much more gentle and kind. If she wins, perhaps she will spare us. Yes, that must be it. Director Lee finally found a reason to convince himself to help the female giant. He immediately issued the order. All units, pay attention. Listen to my command. Concentrate all fire on the silver giant. Cover the female giant. I repeat, cover the female giant and attack the silver giant. Upon receiving Director Lee's orders, no one was surprised. Right now, their only hope was to trust the female giant. If her power could defeat the silver giant, maybe they still had a slim chance of survival. Boom boom boom. The remaining turrets fired volley after volley of energy shells directly at me. I casually deployed an energy barrier, blocking every single attack. Then I retaliated with several hand slicer rays, blowing up every remaining turret at the base. A chain reaction of explosions followed, engulfing the entire base in a raging inferno. Standing in the middle of the base, I looked like a demon god, bringing about the apocalypse. Honestly, I am speechless. I only came here to scrap the Yanlong war god and call it a day. Why do you guys have to keep putting your lives on the line? Look at this mess. The entire Beijing base is practically in ruins because of me. Are you happy now? How much do they even pay you a month to play hero like this? Seriously, you are making me look like some big bad villain. If Director Lee knew my original intention for coming here, he would probably cry himself to death. A moment later, Crimson Typhoon and two other functional mechas struggled back to their feet. The three mechas formed a defensive line, shielding Li Lingling. Their actions sent a clear message to Li Lingling. From this moment on, they were her teammates. She was not fighting alone anymore. Seeing this, I got a really bad feeling about this. Wait, something's wrong. Something is very, very wrong. I have seen this trope somewhere before. Are they about to start talking about bonds and the power of friendship, or stuff like protecting what matters? In a typical tokusatsu show, if a scene like this happens, it means the protagonist is about to go Super Saiyan and get a massive power boost. I am low-key panicking right now. Am I seriously about to get taken out like a filler villain? To dispel my doubts, I immediately went on the offensive. The Yellow Rock heavy armor stood its ground in front, using its massive frame as a shield. Clang! The mecha's steel fist collided with Chinyu's Ultra Punch. The Ultra Punch was undoubtedly superior. I completely pulverized one of the Yellow Rock heavy armor's arms. It was twisted into a grotesque shape, scattering mechanical parts everywhere. Immediately after, I began gathering energy in my palm. I transform my hand into a blade, aiming straight for the neck of Yellow Rock Armored. With a flash of light, I decapitate Yellow Rock Armored with a single strike. Its head goes flying, leaving behind a headless corpse. Seeing this, Blue Siren and Crimson Typhoon immediately launch a coordinated attack. I casually hoist Yellow Rock Armored's body to use as a shield. After blocking all their strikes, I use the wreck of Yellow Rock Armored like a giant brick, and hurl it violently at Crimson Typhoon. Boom! Crimson Typhoon has no time to dodge. It suffers a brutal collision with Yellow Rock Armored's remains. The impact is devastating. It leaves Crimson Typhoon completely shattered and in pieces. But Yellow Rock Armored did not fare any better. Most of its chassis is now pure scrap metal. Both mechas are now beyond any hope of repair. Blue Siren lunges forward at me, desperately trying to lock onto my throat. Too bad for her. The power gap between us is astronomical. With a slight flex, I break free from Blue Siren's restraint effortlessly, and tear both of her arms clean off. Then I grab her head and give it a violent twist. Deprived of its head, Blue Siren shuts down completely. With no pilot left in control of the body, the massive machine collapses limply to the ground. I glance at Blue Siren's severed head in my hand, and slowly lift it up. I bring Blue Siren's optical sensors level with my own eyes. Ah! The pilot inside the cockpit sees herself, staring into the face of the silver giant at point-blank range. She lets out a blood-curdling scream of pure terror. That sound is likely a higher pitch than even the world's best soprano could ever reach. However, I have no intention of making things harder for her. After giving her a good scare, I have seen enough. I toss Blue Siren's head aside like yesterday's trash. At this moment, I have only one target left, the one standing right before me. Li Lingling, transformed into Ultraman Grigio. Li Lingling forces her body to move, struggling into a combat stance, though she stands on shaky legs. Everyone, I am so sorry. I am just too useless. I could not protect you. If only I were a bit stronger, maybe things would not have ended like this. A second later, the energy indicator on her chest begins to blink. It means her transformation time is almost up. What does that mean? Why is the light on the female giant's chest flashing? Director Lee is already on the brink of a total breakdown. Yet he still notices the change in Li Lingling, the flashing energy indicator on her chest. I walk right up to Li Lingling. Li Lingling throws a desperate, angry punch. I catch her fist as if it were light as a feather. Li Lingling tries to pull her fist back from my grip, but unfortunately, my strength is far superior. No matter how much she struggles or what tricks she tries, it is all in vain. That power of will nonsense only exists on TV. In reality, willpower is not going to magically multiply someone's combat power several times over. I look at the struggling, stubborn, and unwilling Li Lingling. In a low voice, I say, Grigio, if you are willing to give me half of your energy, I will leave this place. What? Give half of my energy to you? Hearing my words, Li Lingling is pale with shock. Surrendering half of her own energy is an incredibly excessive demand. As a support type, she was not that strong to begin with. If she loses half her energy now, would not she be even more vulnerable? You can choose to refuse. That is your right. But let me remind you of one thing. Even if you refuse, I will simply take your energy by force. It will just be a little more troublesome. That is all. The energy I need right now is far from enough. I must at least unlock the Junus Red form, and I need to do it fast, only by ascending to the Junus Red form. Will I have the bare minimum capital to protect myself. Besides, the sudden appearance of Grigio has given me a real sense of urgency. Since Nexus and Grigio exist in this world, then many more Ultramen could appear. I can't be sure whose hands those other powers have fallen into. The only way to stay safe is to boost my strength, until I am absolutely invincible. Li Lingling felt utterly humiliated, but for the sake of the Beijing base, and to protect everyone inside, she had no choice. She had to compromise with me. Fine, I am willing to give you half of my energy, as long as you promise me that you will leave the base immediately after you get it. It is a deal. With that, I let go of Li Lingling's hand. Tears streamed down Li Lingling's face. She rubbed her wrist, which was bruised from my grip. The giantess is crying. I can't believe that giantess is actually crying. What is going on? Am I seeing things? Is this real life? I actually feel sorry for her. Many were shocked by the sight of the giantess weeping. Even more were curious about why she was crying. Is it just because she could not beat the silver giant? Alright, stop acting so aggrieved. Just hand over your energy already. Li Lingling calmed her emotions. She raised both hands and placed them before her chest. A beam of pure golden light shot out from her color timer. I could feel this golden energy was incredibly peaceful. There was not a hint of aggression in it. It was pure light energy. As the golden energy flowed from my chest into my energy core and through my body, my entire form began to glow with a faint luminescence. The whole process took barely 2.5 seconds. I quickly absorbed all the energy that Li Lingling had transferred to me. Congratulations, host. Junis red form unlock progress 40%. Grigio's energy is much more potent than I imagined. Just half of it boosted the Junis red form. Unlock progress by 30%. That is 3 times more than a level 6.0 Kaiju. Beep 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 beep. The color timer on Li Lingling's chest flashed more and more urgently. She was already heavily injured. Sacrificing half of her energy now left her body unable to hold on. A second later, the light on her chest stopped flashing and went completely dark. Ultraman Grigio's body rapidly faded into transparency, as if she had never existed at all, and where Ultraman Grigio had stood, Li Lingling had returned to human form, limp and weak. She collapsed powerlessly and fell into unconsciousness. Director Li witnessed everything from his office. When the giantess faded away, revealing his daughter, Li Lingling, Director Li felt a sharp, stabbing pain in his heart. Lingling, even if he had racked his brains, he never could have imagined that the giantess who stood up to fight the silver giant was actually his own daughter. All her strange actions earlier now had an explanation. Li Lingling could not stand by and watch the silver giant's actions, so she boldly moved to confront him. She sacrificed her own power to strike a deal with him, thinking of how much his daughter had given up to protect the base and its people. Director Li's face was awash with tears of a grieving father. Many people at the base recognized Li Lingling when they saw that girl, once as beautiful as a flower, lying in the rubble with her face covered in blood. Everyone felt a sharp sting of heartbreak. I am honoring my promise to Li Lingling. I won't lay another finger on you. Today, I am only taking half of your power. I hope you work hard to earn back what you have lost, so that next time I can drain another half from you. Before the words even faded, from a dark, shadowy corner, a sinister aura began to emanate. A pair of evil eyes stared fixedly toward the base. Now, this is getting interesting. I did not expect the battle between Ultramen to be such a spectacular show. Since the Mecha Ultraman has already made his entrance, then a Kaiju ought to show up to join the party. Let us spice things up a bit, shall we? Looking at the base, the mechas and the defenses had all been completely wiped out by the giant. He decided to step onto the stage and perform a little play for everyone. The mysterious figure raised both hands to the sky, releasing a surge of dark energy. In the next second, the earth began to tremble violently. A ferocious monster burrowed out from deep underground. I had intended to leave the Beijing base, but the sudden appearance of the Kaiju caught my attention. Turning to look, a massive Kaiju, shaped like a giant corn cob, emerged from the nearby hills. I recognized this monster at a single glance. Wait, is that Red King? The skull monster, Red King. It is a rank 8 super Kaiju. No, it is more than that. The Kaiju's hazard level is still steadily rising. The technician's voice began to tremble with fear. All hope was finally extinguished. At that moment, Director Li felt the life drain out of him. He collapsed, limp and powerless. It is over. It is all over. Beijing City is finished. We are all doomed. All of you just go. Run for your lives. The base's defense systems have completely collapsed. Every mecha has been turned into scrap metal. Even my daughter, the giantess, is unconscious. In this moment, Director Li could not think of a single thing he could use to stop that corncob monster. They could do nothing but wait for death. Could they really count on the one who destroyed Beijing base, that silver giant? Survival is all that matters. Everything else is an illusion. Panic spread through the crowd like wildfire. Everyone chose to abandon their posts and flee the base. However, in the next second, amidst the light that caught many by surprise, I took a combat stance against the corncob monster. What, is the silver giant planning to fight the kaiju? A glimmer of hope reignited in Director Lee's eyes. At this moment, the silver giant's figure grew infinitely tall in his heart. He forgot his hatred for the silver giant. He only hoped the silver giant could defeat the corncob kaiju. To save the foundation of the base and Beijing City, the corncob kaiju took my movements as a provocation. It pounded its chest heavily twice, then charged straight at me. With its massive size, every step felt like an earthquake. I gathered energy in both hands toward the kaiju and released 2 hand-blade light beams. Boom, boom. The light beams struck the corncob monster squarely in the abdomen and chest. But for a thick-skinned beast like this corncob kaiju, such an attack was merely a scratch. It dealt no real damage at all. Instead, it only made the beast even more berserk. Since those attacks are not working, I guess I will have to do this the hard way. I charged head-on toward the corncob kaiju. Just as we were about to collide, I suddenly activated Mach Move. In a flash, I teleported right behind the corn monster. The monster used every ounce of its strength, trying to ram into me. The target suddenly vanished once again. It was completely bewildered, left scratching its head. It slammed on the brakes so hard it nearly lost its footing and face-planted. Immediately, its eyes darted left, right, up, and down. No matter where it looked, the target was nowhere to be found. Standing right behind it, I clenched my fist tight. I swung a heavy punch straight at the corn monster's head. Thud! The corn monster clutched its head, jumping up and down in agony. The viewers in the live stream went wild seeing the scene. Lol, so stupid. That corn monster is such a clown. Go for it, Silver Giant. Wreck that stupid corn monster. Silver Giant, you have just won yourself a new fan. At this moment, Director Lee, seeing the giant actually attacking the corn monster, finally breathed a sigh of relief. Beijing City is saved. Quick, go rescue the injured now, especially my daughter. Do not let anything happen to her. Meanwhile, at the Dragon Kingdom capital Mecha base, Supreme Commander Yanlong was watching the battle along with everyone else at the base. The silver giant breaking into a fight with the corn monster was a situation that far exceeded their expectations. Yanlong had originally prepared to have the capital Mecha base support Beijing City. He never expected the silver giant to step up like this. Right then in his mind, a strange idea suddenly popped up. Since the silver giant possesses intelligence, do you think it is possible for us to make him a combat weapon controlled by our mecha department? Those words send a shockwave through everyone around him. In theory it is possible, but in practice, we do not even know if the silver giant can communicate with humans. If there is no communication, I am afraid it is a pipe dream. Yanlong's gaze turned deep and pensive. No one knew what he was really thinking. On the other side, at the Eagle Kingdom's Black Palace, the office and residence of the Eagle Kingdom's spokesman. At this very moment, the spokesman and several of his subordinates were also completely baffled by the silver giant's actions. The Dragon Kingdom could not be like us, could they? They have already turned an Ultraman into a combat weapon and deployed it into battle. A subordinate replied, "Sir, it is highly likely. Looking at the situation in the live stream, that Ultraman is clearly fighting the corn monster, specifically to save the Beijing base. We just do not know how much of an Ultraman's power the Dragon Kingdom currently commands or how strong they are." The Eagle Kingdom spokesman curled his lips into a disdainful smirk. "No matter what, our Eagle Kingdom is definitely the strongest. We have 5 Ultramen. How can the Dragon Kingdom even compete with us?" The subordinates chimed in one after another. "That goes without saying. Our Eagle Kingdom is the most powerful nation on the blue planet. The Dragon Kingdom is not even fit to shine our shoes. We are just choosing not to show off our true strength yet." Then a middle-aged man who had been silent finally spoke up. "If possible, we could also recruit the Dragon Kingdom's Ultraman. Make him one of our own." The man speaking was named Mark. The 5 Ultramen the spokesman mentioned all acted under Mark's direct command. The spokesman's eyes lit up at the suggestion. He gave Mark a big thumbs up. "Mark, I like that idea. It is brilliant. I hope you are not just all talk." However, at this moment, I still did not realize how much attention my battle with the corn monster was actually attracting. Countless schemes and hidden threats were already aiming my way. The corn monster clutched its head and hopped around a few times. The pain in its head only served to trigger its primal ferocity. It lunged at me, baring its claws and teeth in a frenzy. But with that clumsy, heavy body of its, it could not even touch a single hair on my head. In no time, I had him dazed and spinning from my strikes. It is a good thing his hide is thick enough to tank that many of my hits. If it were any other kaiju, I probably would have beaten them to death with my bare fists by now. After pounding him for a while, the corn monster was down to his last sliver of health. I immediately unleashed a cross-ray storm. Boom, boom, boom. The corn monster was blown apart by the beam, turning into nothing but stardust. Not a single trace was left behind. and all of its energy was contributed to my unlocking progress. Absorbing Kaiju energy. Congratulations host, red adult form unlocked. Progress, 75%. The progress provided by this corn monster was actually more than I imagined. I did not expect it to be 5% higher than half of Grigio's total energy. Talk about an unexpected harvest. Meanwhile, the mysterious figure watching from the shadows, seeing me defeat the corn monster, didn't seem all that surprised. Easily taking down a corn monster. It seems your strength is decent enough. Next, we can truly have some fun. With a burst of eerie, dark laughter, the mysterious person vanished from the scene. Judging by that, they seemed temporarily satisfied. With the corn monster eradicated, the crisis I triggered was now completely resolved. Beijing base was a total mess. The personnel were doing everything they could to find survivors in the rubble. In stark contrast to the tragic atmosphere at Beijing base, the livestream chats were absolutely popping off. Everyone seemed to be starting to worship the silver giant standing before their eyes. Honestly, I did not even do anything that special. I even spent the last 2 days scrapping quite a few mechas, and I nearly leveled Beijing base just moments ago. Yet the public's perception of me shifted automatically. I guess when you have real power, you can truly do whatever you want. As the dust finally settled, this time I did not glow and fade into nothingness, as the people had speculated. Instead, I spread my arms and took flight, vanishing into the vast horizon of the night sky. He flew away. Looking at him go, is he heading into outer space? Director Lee wondered silently to himself. Soon, the Dragon Country HQ deployed every bit of available technology to track the silver giant, but the results were far from satisfactory. Forgive us, sir, we have lost the silver giant's position. He suddenly vanished while still within the atmosphere. The only thing we can confirm is that he is likely still on Blue Star. He has not left the planet. Yanlong shook his head in frustration at the news. The silver giant's methods are simply too formidable. This matter will have to be shelved for now. Deep into the night, after finishing my business, I lay on my sofa, at home, scrolling through my phone, looking at the online comments regarding tonight's incident. The reaction was quite unexpected. I thought I would be roasted into oblivion by the haters. I did not expect so many people to suddenly start calling themselves my fans. It honestly leaves me speechless. I did not exactly do any good deeds. Why do you guys like me so much? As I kept scrolling in certain forum posts, I began to see the name Ultraman appearing. It seems my appearance has already caught the attention of other Ultramen. Those guys could not stand being in the dark any longer. They actually want the whole world to know exactly what kind of existence an Ultraman is. Interesting. Truly interesting. This world is more exciting than I imagined. Looks like the days ahead won't be boring at all. On the other hand, as the news spread that Li Lingling is Ultraman Grigio, many high-ranking officials in Dragon Country realized the truth, that Ultramen are actually transformed humans. While Grigio's performance was a bit underwhelming, the power of Noah has Yanlong completely obsessed. If Dragon Country could have a few more Ultramen like Noah, those Kaiju would not mean a damn thing. I can suppress them all in a matter of minutes. If any other nation dares to defy Dragon Country, they will be crushed without exception. From now on, Earth enters the era of Dragon Country. Of course, that is assuming we can actually find that many Ultramen, and that those Ultramen are willing to serve our nation. Otherwise, it is all just a pipe dream. Starting from that day, the Dragon Country officials began a nationwide search for any clues regarding Ultraman hosts. 2.5 months passed in the blink of an eye. Everything seemed to have returned to its normal track. The authorities officially named the Silver Giant Ultraman Noah. As for Li Lingling's transformation, Ultraman Grigio, since she did not appear in the live broadcast that day, the officials decided to keep her identity classified, making her Dragon Country's secret weapon. As for me, the host of Ultraman Noah, life has been exceptionally chill lately. I have not been doing much of anything, just minding my own business and attending classes at school. I was casually sipping milk tea by the roadside, watching the people go by, and I could not help but reflect. This kind of life is truly wonderful. If only I had a bit more cash in my pocket, it would be perfect. Just as I was checking out a female classmate on the street, a strange foreign woman holding a device resembling a Dragon Ball radar walked right up to me. The beeping sound grew louder as she approached. I turned my head to look. Seeing that she caught my attention, the foreign woman calmly tucked the device away. "Hello there, handsome." Even though she had a bit of an accent, I could understand her perfectly fine. "Hello. Can I help you? I looked at her warily. My intuition told me this woman was no ordinary person. It was the same feeling I had when I first met Li Lingling, a strange, restless energy stirring within me. It made me suspect that she might very well be another Ultraman. Handsome, you look quite lonely here all by yourself. Coincidentally, I am also traveling alone. How about you show me around for a bit? The foreign woman said. She was quite pretty and clearly young, based on her impressive figure alone. She was a top-tier beauty, sexy and bold. But to me, this woman spelled trouble. You want me to go for a walk with you? Can you give me one good reason why I should? The foreign woman probably expected me to jump at the chance, so my question clearly caught her off guard. She froze for a moment. She struggled to find the words before finally blurting out, "Because you are handsome." Is that reason enough? Hearing her justification, I nodded with satisfaction. Now that is a pretty good reason. Sure. And so, the two of us set off together. Through our conversation, I learned her name was Beth. After we finished dinner, I was not sure what Beth was playing at, but she suddenly invited me to the mountaintop to enjoy the most beautiful night view of Beijing City. Since she insisted, she clearly had something prepared, not wanting her efforts to go to waste. I readily agreed to Beth's request. Overlooking Beijing City, the breathtaking night view of the entire city was spread out before our eyes. While we were admiring the scenery, things were getting chaotic at the Beijing Mecha base. Director, we have detected a level 6.5 monster signature. The target is moving rapidly underground. Destination unknown. Hearing the subordinates report, Director Lee felt a massive headache coming on. It has only been quiet for a few freaking days. How is there another monster already? And a level 6.5 giant monster at that. Give me a break. Issue the order immediately. 2 S-class mechas and 2 SS-class mechas are on standby. The moment a monster shows its head, the mechas will strike immediately. After I wiped out all the mechas at the Beijing Mecha base last time, the capital headquarters urgently dispatched several high-level mechas over here. These units are all the latest models, and they do not even have assigned pilots yet. As it happens, the mechas belonging to Lilu, Wang Kai, and the others were all destroyed in the previous battle. This time, they can just take over the new mechas directly. After what happened last time, Wang Kai had a complete mental breakdown. He was originally planning to give up on being a mecha pilot, but after learning that the Beijing base has an Ultraman on its side, he suddenly felt like he was back in the game. More importantly, through his connections with his grandfather, Lin Zhenwei, he found out that Ultraman Noah would no longer attack the Beijing mecha base. That made him feel even more invincible. However, he did not get a share of the 2 SS-class mechas sent this time. Director Lee assigned those 2 mechas to Li Lu and the original pilot of the Deep Blue Siren, because his performance with the Yanlong war god was so pathetic last time. Director Li was extremely dissatisfied with him. He did not dare trust Wang Kai with a powerful mecha again, but for the sake of Lin Zhenwei's reputation, he handed over the S-class mecha, Night Phantom, to Wang Kai. The mechas were soon ready for action. Li Lingling was also called to Director Li's office, standing by to transform at any moment. Recently, to make up for the fact that Li Lingling's personal combat skills were relatively weak, Director Li specifically arranged a series of physical training programs for her. The current Li Lingling has practically undergone a complete transformation. She is significantly stronger than she was before. Thump thump thump. Asterisk. While Beth and I were on the mountain enjoying the night view, we suddenly felt a slight tremor. Hearing the sound, I stood up immediately. It looks like a monster is coming. What? A monster is coming? No way, right? Aren't we in a lot of danger up here on the mountain then? Beth's expression turned panicked. It was hard to tell if she was faking it or not. A moment later, a massive monster burst out from the earth, appearing halfway up the mountainside. The monster's roar echoed in all directions, sending many people into a state of panic. The monster this time looked a bit like a Tyrannosaurus, except its arms were much thicker than a T-Rex's, and it had a single horn on its head. Standing at about 50 meters tall, it was a large-scale monster. The Tyrannosaurus monster seemed to be provoked by something. Its eyes were blood red and it was extremely violent. It opened its massive, bloody maw and breathed a blast of dragon fire onto the mountainside, igniting a raging forest fire. The fire spread with incredible speed, and billowing thick smoke rose into the night sky. Seeing this, Director Lee could not sit still any longer. If the fire was allowed to keep spreading, it would not only devastate Beijing City, but many people could also lose their lives. To stop the fire from spreading, Director Lee had to let Li Lingling transform first. Ultraman Grigio would put out the fire and hold off the Tyrannosaurus monster. Li Lingling did not hesitate. She immediately pulled out the Euro Flash, to transform into Ultraman Grigio. A golden beam of light shot out from the Beijing Mecha base. In just 2.5 seconds, it crossed hundreds of miles and appeared above the Tyrannosaurus monster. Grigio's silhouette was wrapped in the center of the radiance, until all the light was absorbed into her body. Only then did she reveal her true form to the world, to prevent other countries from knowing that the Dragon Nation now possessed Ultramen as biological weapons. The high-ranking officials unanimously decided to shut down the satellite broadcast. After appearing, Li Lingling immediately fired a beam into the sky. The beam exploded in mid-air, and the next second, with a great splashing sound, a torrential rain began to pour down, quickly extinguishing the forest fire caused by the tyrant Kaiju. Seeing the fire it ignited being put out, the tyrant Kaiju is absolutely livid. It unleashes a massive pillar of fire directly at Li Lingling. Grigio barrier. Li Lingling spreads her arms, releasing energy, to manifest a golden barrier in front of her. She effortlessly blocks the tyrant Kaiju's flame attack. As a support-type Ultraman, Ultraman Grigio's specialties are defense and healing. By design, Grigio's barrier defense is 5 times stronger than her brothers Rosso and Blue. Even the final boss Lugocyte's ultimate move, the Genesis Requiem, can be easily blocked. Dealing with a mere tyrant Kaiju's fire breath is child's play for her. Seeing this, Beth blurted out, "That female Ultraman is impressive." Before she could even realize the gravity of the situation, I suddenly struck, kicking her away. The entire cable car shook from the force of that kick. Beth clutched her stomach, the intense pain causing her delicate and beautiful features to slightly contort. "What do you think you are doing? Chin Yu, you know about Ultraman. Who exactly are you?" Damn it. Realizing her identity was compromised, Beth dropped the act and slowly stood up. "Chin Yu, just like you, I am also an Ultraman." "What kind of Ultraman are you?" Beth. Huh, what? I did not register it at first. Only after Beth emphasized it again did I remember. There actually was an Ultraman named Beth. Except this Ultraman was from the USA, one of the female Ultras in the Ultra Force trio. She is quite obscure. If you do not deliberately think about it, you would not even recall her existence. Why did you approach me on purpose? What is your angle? Chin Yu, I mean no harm. I am simply here on behalf of Eagle Nation to invite you to join us. An invitation to join you. Does your Eagle Nation have many Ultramen? So far, we already have over 5 Ultramen. I do not know how many other countries have, but I believe our nation's numbers are definitely the highest and the strongest. Over 5 Ultramen. You guys actually have that many. For real. Even I was shocked upon hearing the number of Ultramen. The Eagle Nation possessed a full 5 Ultramen, even though I possess the power of Nexus. Currently, I can only transform into Anthon's form. Taking them all on would not be easy. Beth did not answer my question directly, but started laying out terms. Chin Yu, as long as you join us, we can give you everything you desire. Women, money, status. We can give it all to you. We are very sincere. Will you consider it? Hey, those are some pretty good terms you are offering. Exactly what I am lacking right now. Hearing me say this, a look of joy appeared on Beth's face. Then join us, Chin Yu. I believe the treatment we can offer you is definitely much better than what you get in Dragon Nation. In that case, if I wanted you, would that be okay too? Me. Beth was stunned for a moment. She then looked down at her own proud figure, as if understanding something. If you want women, we can provide you with plenty of beauties. But not me. I only stay with the one I love. Of course, if you can win my heart, then that works too. Hearing this, I gave a strange smile. I think you have misunderstood. You have got it all wrong. What? I said I want the power within you, not you yourself. Hand over Beth's Ultraman power to me, and I might consider joining your Eagle Nation. As one of the USA's triple Ultras, Beth's strength is nothing to sneeze at. She is established as an elite warrior among the trio. Each one possesses combat prowess rivaling the Ultra Brothers. If I can fully absorb Beth's power, unlocking the Junus Red form will be a sure thing. Beth gasped, "Give you the power of Ultraman, Beth? That is impossible. How could I ever surrender the Ultra power to you? Chin Yu, are you trying to play me?" As she spoke, Beth finally realized my intent. I never had any intention of agreeing to her terms. Sorry, I am not just taking you. I am planning to seize your power right here, right now. Before the words even faded, I struck instantly. Beth was not about to back down either. The two of us started brawling within the cramped cable car. Beth might look delicate, but her martial arts skills are top tier. After only a few exchanges, she nimbly dodged every single one of my attacks. However, there is still a natural gap in raw strength. To me, Beth's strikes felt a bit too light. I could parry them with zero effort. We were locked in a stalemate after over 10 moves. The cable car could not handle the intensity of our fight. It began to sway violently. Meanwhile, Li Lingling, transformed into Ultraman Grigio, had engaged the tyrant Kaiju in battle. After her training sessions, Li Lingling was exponentially stronger than before. She beat the tyrant Kaiju into a mindless rage, leaving it unable to mount any effective counterattack. Earlier, I had thrashed her so hard she almost questioned her life choices. Now, she was finally reclaiming her confidence by bullying the Kaiju. On my end, the fight with Beth finally pushed the cable car past its breaking point. Snap! Unable to withstand the immense pressure, the car plummeted. In that life-or-death split second, Beth used her telekinesis to trigger her transformation. While I drew the Evolve Thruster, prismatic and golden lights converged in the mountains, forming two giants standing face-to-face. Ultraman Nexus in Anfin's form and Ultraman Beth. Li Lingling, who was still fighting the tyrant Kaiju, was stunned by the sight. What? How is there another new Ultraman I have never seen before? What are they trying to do? Nexus's appearance did not surprise Li Lingling much, but the arrival of Ultraman Beth was completely unexpected. Like Grigio and Nexus's Anfin's form, their bodies were primarily silver, but Beth's body was mostly yellow. With very few silver patterns, the art style was totally different. Such a distinct color scheme easily made one wonder if they even belonged to the same race. Taking advantage of Li Lingling's distraction, the tyrant Kaiju whipped its tail and sent her flying. The force of the blow slammed Li Lingling into the ground. The Kaiju roared in fury and unleashed a war stomp, viciously trampling Li Lingling with its massive feet. Li Lingling crossed her arms to shield herself, panicking as she was overwhelmed. As for me and Beth, neither of us cared about Li Lingling losing ground. After locking eyes for a moment, we ruthlessly attacked each other. I opened with my habitual hand blade beams, firing 2 small golden bolts at Beth. Beth casually fired back 2 small blue beams, intercepting my attack mid-air. Then, she gathered high-density energy in her right hand, forming a high-speed spinning blue light disc in her palm. This move is a standard-issue skill that almost every Ultraman knows. The Ultra Slash. Beth had clearly mastered the essence of the Ultra Slash. Instead of throwing the disc, she, holding the energy halo firmly in my palm, treating it as a lethal melee weapon. She lunges at me, striking with the halo simultaneously. That cutting skill is a specialized armor breaker. Even I would not dare to take it head-on. I dash to the side, narrowly dodging the blade, then deliver a heavy kick straight to her abdomen. Thud. Beth recoils 2 steps from the blow to her gut. She steadies herself and resumes the assault. I evade her strike once more, this time driving a fist directly into her chest. The sheer force of the punch makes Beth cry out in agonizing pain. I press the advantage, unleashing a relentless barrage of power punches. The strikes rain down on Beth without pause, beating her until she can no longer maintain the blue halo in her hand. The halo flickers and vanishes. With nothing left to fear, I charge forward, pinning Beth ruthlessly to the ground. She is completely trapped, unable to fight back. Then, I begin a brutal assault on her head. Inside the Beijing Mecha base, they watch the 2 screens, each showing a different, chaotic battle. Director Lee is on the verge of tears. What on earth is happening? Why did Ultraman Noah and that yellow Ultraman have to show up now and cause such a mess? What is their endgame? This was supposed to be a routine monster incident. Between Li Lingling's power and our standard mechas, we should have handled it easily. But now that I and Beth have joined the fray, the situation on the ground has become incredibly complicated. Director Lee could not help but feel a stroke of luck. Thank goodness he blocked the global live stream earlier. If the whole world saw a scene like this, there is no telling what they would think. However, seeing his daughter bullied by the tyrant Kaiju, Director Lee's heart still ached with worry. Where is Li Lu and the others? How much longer until they reach the battlefield? Tell the transport planes to step on it. His subordinate replied, Director, they have arrived and are preparing to deploy the mechas. Above the battlefield, 4 mechas were suspended in mid-air by the transport plane's steel cables. The moment the cables release, they will drop straight into the fight. Deploy the mechas immediately. Go help Lingling. Yes, sir. Following Director Lee's command, the steel cables holding the 4 mechas were released. Boom! 4 mechas descended from the heavens. The impact of their landing was massive, kicking up a thick cloud of dust. Director, what are our orders? Li Lu asked over the comms. Focus everything on helping Ultraman Grigio defeat the tyrant Kaiju. The fight between Ultraman Noah and that yellow female Ultraman. Ignore them for now. When those words were spoken, Li Lu and the other pilots breathed a collective sigh of relief. They feared Ultraman Noah far more than Director Lee did. The previous battle had left them with indelible psychological scars. The 4 mechas got into position to launch an attack on the tyrant Kaiju. A barrage of artillery fire rained down on the Kaiju's head. The tyrant Kaiju shrieked in pain, forced back by the explosion. In the chaos, it tripped and crashed to the ground. Li Lingling finally had a moment to catch her breath. She recalled recalled the Ultra Slash Beth had used earlier, and decided to give it a shot. She concentrated a golden spinning halo in her palm, then brought it down hard on the Tyrant Kaiju's tail. Slice! A massive spray of crimson blood erupted. The Tyrant Kaiju's tail was instantly severed. By Li Lingling's Ultra Slash, it was as easy as cutting through a sheet of paper. The Tyrant Kaiju let out a scream, a piercing howl filled with absolute rage. Even Li Lingling herself was startled by the move's power. What an incredible technique. How on earth did they come up with this stuff? Enraged beyond belief, the Tyrant Kaiju spat fire at Li Lingling. Li Lingling instantly focused, deploying the Grigio barrier, blocks the attack of the Tyrant Kaiju. Seizing the split-second opening, Director Li acts decisively. He pilots the mecha forward, circling behind the Tyrant Kaiju. Raising his weapon, he brings the sword crashing down on the beast. Clang! Sparks fly everywhere. The Tyrant Kaiju's hide is so incredibly tough that it actually withstands Director Li's sword strike. However, the monster did not walk away unscathed either. The pain from the slash makes it stop breathing fire instantly. With a backhand slap, it strikes Director Li's mecha. Boom! Director Li's mecha cannot withstand the sheer power of the Tyrant Kaiju's claws. It gets swatted aside in an instant. The Tyrant Kaiju's strength is overwhelming. A single move severely damages the SS rank mecha. Go to hell, you monster! Li Lingling sees the Tyrant Kaiju's attention is fully occupied by Director Li's mecha. She immediately charges up her finisher beam. Grigio, shot. A golden quantum stream blasts toward the Tyrant Kaiju, dispelling the surrounding darkness. All people can see is that brilliant, ultimate golden beam of light. Rumble. Taking a direct hit from Li Lingling's finisher, the Tyrant Kaiju explodes on the spot. Most of its body is vaporized by the beam, but some small fragments are still scattered across the ground. Compared to my beam's power, Grigio's output is still way too weak. It can't completely annihilate the enemy at a quantum level. Beep 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 beep. After firing the beam, Li Lingling feels her body go weak. Her knees buckle, and she collapses. Normally, she should retreat now, but right now, Beth and I are still fighting. She does not know what the hell is going on. She does not dare to leave recklessly, fearing a clash between two Ultramen would cause massive destruction to Beijing City. The four mechas stand aside, having no intention of interfering. When gods fight, it is the mortals who suffer. They know better than to get involved. What are you two doing? Why are you fighting? Li Lingling asks. Beth beats me to the punch. Sister, help me. This guy is a demon. He wants to absorb my energy. He wants to become the strongest Ultraman and destroy the world. You can't let his scheme succeed. She does not know that my Nexus form and Li Lingling's Grigio form have already met. Thinking we are strangers, she tries to trick Li Lingling into helping her. Li Lingling is stunned by Beth's words. What? Noah wants to destroy the world. How is that possible? I speak while beating the crap out of Beth. Destroy the world, my ass. I just want her energy, that is all. She is an Ultraman from the USA. Absorbing her energy is essentially weakening the USA's military power. She is an Ultraman from the USA, so the USA really has mastered these biological weapons. Li Lingling had heard Director Li mention before that there might be more than just one or two Ultramen. If the Dragon Kingdom can use them as biological weapons, other countries certainly can too, especially the USA, the strongest nation on Earth. They might even have more than one. It turns out my prediction was spot on. Beth is still trying to struggle. Sister, do not listen to his nonsense, save me. If he absorbs my power and gets even stronger, no one will be able to stop him. The moment she finishes, I land another punch. Beep 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 beep. Beth finally reaches her limit. The energy timer on her chest begins to flash. Compared to Beth, Li Lingling would definitely rather trust me. After all, I did spare her and the Beijing mecha base last time. Noah, do you need my help? If not, then I will be on my way. My energy is running out. Since half of my energy was snatched away, Li Lingling's standby time has dropped significantly. It has not even been 2.5 minutes since her transformation, and her energy is clearly about to be depleted. Do I look like I actually need any help right now? Looking at Beth being pinned down and thrashed by me, Li Lingling felt like her offer was a bit redundant. See you later then. With that, Li Lingling flew into the sky and left the battlefield. Seeing Li Lingling leave so suddenly without any warning, Director Li was completely dumbfounded. What the heck is going on? Lingling, why did you suddenly run off? What is she doing? Fortunately, it was not long before Li Lingling called. Dad, do not worry about Noah and that female Ultraman. That female Ultraman is from the USA. Whether she lives or dies has nothing to do with us. Although all nations are theoretically united against the Kaiju, and everyone is supposedly an ally, the truth is that for years the USA has relied on being the strongest power to flex its muscles all over the planet, constantly bullying other nations. Everyone has been fed up with them for a long time. Kind-hearted as Li Lingling may be, she was more than happy to see the USA finally get a taste of their own medicine. Hearing Li Lingling's words, an uncontrollable smile crept across Director Li's face. An Ultraman from the USA. In that case, we really do not need to bother with her. It would be for the best if she died. While I was busy pummeling Beth, up on the mountain peak, the mysterious person who once summoned Red King appeared out of nowhere. Noah. A big man like you bullying a girl, that is a bit much, do not you think? Looks like I will have to play the White Knight and lend her a hand. After the mysterious figure finished speaking, he threw his arms toward the sky, releasing a surge of dark purple energy. Rumble, 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 a thunderclap shook the very heavens. A second later, a massive black vortex tore open in the sky. A terrifying silhouette descended slowly through the vortex, finally revealing itself to the world. The volcanic bird monster, Birdon, an avian kaiju that usually dwells within volcanoes. It can spit out incredibly powerful flames, and possesses extraordinary flight speed. Of course, as a bird, its most lethal weapon is its sharp beak. It once pecked Ultraman Taro and Zafi to death, boasting a proud battle record. It is an extremely fearsome great kaiju. Another monster has appeared. This time, it is an avian monster. It looks incredibly powerful. The technician Li Lu was panicking like crazy. Just by looking at its aura, you can tell that Birdon is on a whole different level compared to the tyrant kaiju from earlier. What is the danger level of this avian kaiju? Can we get a reading? Director Li was equally anxious. Li Lingling just transformed once. She can't do it again so soon. Without Li Lingling's Ultraman form, relying solely on the remaining mechas, they could barely handle a level 5.0 kaiju at best. Taking on anything above level 5.0 is mission impossible. The director. This avian monster's danger level has reached 8.7. This is another unprecedented great kaiju. The technician's voice was stuttering with fear. Aside from the Ultraman, this level 8.7 volcanic bird monster, Birdon, is the strongest kaiju to ever appear in this world's history. A monster of this level. Even if we combine the strength of the entire world, victory would not be guaranteed. We are doomed. It is all over. Seeing Director Li looking like he would seen a ghost, his subordinate quickly reminded him, Director, is not Ultraman Noah still here? With his temperament, he surely won't just sit back and watch us burn. Right. We still have Ultraman Noah. With his power, dealing with a mere level 8.7 giant monster should be a walk in the park. Go for it, Ultraman Noah. Director Li, who once viewed Ultraman as an enemy and plotted to eliminate him, is now actually cheering for him at the top of his lungs. I must say, this scene is the definition of irony. The moment Birdon appeared, it locked its sights onto me. Those crimson eyes were exactly like the cornstalk monsters. It spun around with a deafening roar and lunged straight at me. That sharp beak has pecked Ultraman to death before. I did not dare to take the hit head-on. The instant it closed the distance, I performed a tactical roll to dodge the strike. Beth finally caught her breath. She quickly stood up and glanced down. The energy indicator on her chest was flashing incessantly. It meant her transformation time was running out. Chin Yu, I will remember this grudge. Just you wait. Sooner or later, I will make you spit out every bit of your power. What is this? You think you can just run? Did I give you permission? The prize is right in front of me. There is no way I am letting her fly away. As I prepared to charge, right at that moment, Birdon came swooping back in. I had no choice but to deal with the volcanic bird first. Seizing this narrow window of opportunity, Beth's body rapidly condensed into a mass, transforming into a red orb of light that shot into the distance and vanished from sight. Pinned down by Birdon, I could only watch helplessly as Beth escaped. My blood began to boil with pure rage. Birdon had no clue it had just signed its own death warrant by provoking me. Ignorant of its fate, it continued its relentless assault. In a fit of fury, I gathered energy into my hands and delivered a devastating handblade strike. The venom sacs on both sides of Birdon's beak exploded. The toxic fluid flowed back into Birdon's own body, sending it into a state of excruciating pain, twitching and screaming miserably. You damn pest, that was the energy of a complete elite Ultraman. Do you have any idea how precious that was? Because of you, I just lost a perfect opportunity to evolve. Fine. Since you are so eager to die, I will be happy to oblige. I will wipe you out, and absorbing your energy will still be enough to unlock my Junus form. Birdon, however, had no intention of retreating. Although the venom was causing it immense agony, it also triggered a primal frenzy, making it pounce at me like a madman. I kicked the volcanic bird back with full force, then conjured a rotating light disc in my palm, the Ultra Slash. I lunged forward and severed Birdon's sharp beak in one clean stroke. Crash. Sparks flew everywhere. The tip of its beak went flying through the air. Birdon's most dangerous weapon was its beak. Without it, its combat effectiveness instantly dropped by more than half. High-pitched screeching, Birdon let out a piercing, pathetic shriek, sending shivers down the spines of Director Li and the others nearby. Good heavens! That is absolutely brutal. This Ultraman Noah is as ruthless as ever. Director Lee could not help but pull his coat tighter. The memory of being dominated by Ultraman Noah last time flashed before his eyes like a nightmare. I used both hands to hoist Birdon into the air, then threw it aside with all my might. Thud. Birdon slammed heavily onto the ground, causing the very earth to tremble. Watching the monster being beaten so miserably, Wong Kai, sitting inside the cockpit of Dark Shadow, started getting itchy feet. The monster looks like it is on its last legs after Noah's beating. If I go in now and deliver the finishing blow, is he trying to steal my kill? By now, Birdon has been beaten so badly that it has almost lost all ability to move. It does not even have the strength to crawl off the ground. Just as I was about to charge up my finishing beam to finish Birdon off once and for all, Wong Kai finally succumbed to his own greed. He piloted Dark Phantom and charged straight at Birdon, unsheathing his twin blades. Wong Kai, what do you think you are doing? Director Lee was both shocked and furious to see Wong Kai acting on his own. Stay out of this. The credit for this monster kill is mine. If I can take down a level 8.7 Mega Beast and secure the kill, I will be the greatest mecha pilot in history. Ha ha ha. Greed has completely blinded Wong Kai. He totally forgot to consider whether I would actually let him steal my kill that easily. Just as Wong Kai reached Birdon and raised his blades to stab the monster's eyes, my reflexes kicked in, and I lashed out with both hands. Two streaks of blue light whips shot out, entangling Dark Phantom's arms. With a powerful yank, Dark Phantom's body spun out of control, flung to the ground by my overwhelming strength. I narrowed my eyes and activated my Ultra Eyes, seeing right through to that idiot Wong Kai in the cockpit. Well, Wong Kai, first you stole my mecha, and now you are trying to steal my kill. You really have a death wish, do not you? Since you are so eager, let me grant your wish. I will let you, heroically, sacrifice yourself in battle against the monster. Old grudges and new resentment flared up in my heart. I pulled the light whips with even more force, slamming Dark Phantom violently onto Birdon's body. Boom. Birdon shrieked in pain from the impact and rolled on the ground. It was originally drained of energy, but this blow actually triggered a surge of survival instinct. It flipped over, pinning Dark Phantom down, and began a frenzied assault. Thud thud thud. Even without its beak, its wings were enough to batter the enemy. Dark Phantom's frame began to buckle and deform under the pressure. Inside the cockpit, Wong Kai was crying out for his mother in sheer terror. If he had known it would turn out like this, he would not have dared to scheme, even if it killed him. Too bad there is no room for regrets now. This is bad. Go save him. Though Director Lee and the others despised Wong Kai's actions, he was still technically a teammate. They could not just stand by and watch him die. The group immediately rushed toward Birdon, intending to pull Wong Kai out of the mess. But before they could act, I had already fully charged my cross-ray storm. When they saw my starting stance, the other three were so terrified they froze in their tracks. They had witnessed the sheer power of the cross-ray storm before. If even a stray spark from that beam grazed them, they would be history. Cross-ray storm. Without a hint of mercy, I aimed at Birdon and Dark Phantom, and unleashed the fully charged blast. A golden beam of intense power tore through the night sky, striking Birdon. Rumble. The fire from the explosion surged into the heavens. Both Birdon and Dark Phantom were completely engulfed by the shockwave. Congratulations, host. Junis Red Form Unlock Progress, 100%. Junis Red Form is finally unlocked. That was not easy. Right now, I am beyond thrilled. With the Junis Red Form, I can finally open the meta field. As the flames of the explosion dissipated, Birdon, Dark Phantom, and Wong Kai in the cockpit were all wiped out by that single cross-ray storm. Not even a trace of dust remained. For me, this is a double victory. I feel a whole lot better now. Director Lee and the others watched with their own eyes as Wong Kai died right before them. A whirlwind of emotions surged within them at that moment. When they looked back at Nexus, the Ultraman I had transformed into, their eyes were now filled with a distinct sense of dread. Holy crap, what is Noah doing? He actually killed Wong Kai. At this point, Director Lee was nearly driven mad with rage. First, he was furious at Wong Kai's stupidity for ignoring direct orders. Second, he was livid that Qin Yu had taken the chance to eliminate Wong Kai so effortlessly. Wong Kai's status was no ordinary matter. His death in Beijing City would bring the director an immense amount of trouble. Qin Yu glanced at the several mechas standing before him. The pilots were terrified, as if facing a mortal enemy. They all scrambled into defensive stances. However, Qin Yu had no intention of making a move against them. After just one cold look, he raised his arms to the sky and took flight. Only when Qin Yu's figure had completely vanished into the vast expanse of the night sky did the pilots finally breathe a sigh of relief. relief. He is finally gone. That look he just gave me. I almost thought I was going to end up dead, just like Wong Kai. The pressure from Ultraman Noah is just too overwhelming. The pilot of the Azure Siren said shakily. Why is Ultraman Noah so insanely strong? Neither Ultraman Grigio, nor that red female Ultraman from just now, were a match for him at all. Is it possible he is the strongest Ultraman in existence? Another mecha pilot joked half seriously. Is it possible that Noah is just a natural-born lady's bane? He probably gets a 100% critical hit buff when fighting female Ultraman. Maybe he would not be so tough if he went up against a male one. Actually, that might be a real possibility. Even though it was a joke, Li Lu felt the probability was surprisingly high. After all, the two Ultraman Qin Yu has fought so far have both been female. He has not faced a male Ultraman yet. Things are getting more interesting by the second. Looks like next time, I will have to find a real heavy hitter. A big guy to have some fun with him. These ordinary monsters can no longer satisfy his appetite. He, the mysterious person observing from the shadows, watched Qin Yu leave, then vanished into a cloud of black mist with a sinister laugh. The battle ended. The mechas were transported back to the Beijing mecha base. Director Li paced back and forth in his office, unsure how to explain Wang Kai's death to the high command. If Wang Kai's grandfather, Lin Zhenwei, ever found out about the boy's death, he would surely have the director's head on a silver platter. Knock, knock, knock. Just then, Li Lingling's voice came from outside the door. After receiving the director's permission to enter, Li Lingling pushed the door open and stepped into the office. Seeing the director's face clouded with worry, Li Lingling was somewhat surprised. Dad, what is wrong? You look like you are in a real panic. The situation has clearly been settled successfully. She did not understand why Director Li looked so miserable, facing a level 8.7 super kaiju. Only Wang Kai died, and the city did not suffer much damage. This should definitely be a cause for celebration. Director Li complained. Lingling, you just do not get it. That Wang Kai is dead. His grandfather, Lin Zhenwei, is a major big shot in our Dragon Kingdom military. How on earth am I supposed to explain this to the higher-ups? Li Lingling replied without hesitation. Just tell them the truth, that is how. Over all these years, it is not like only 1 or 2 mecha pilots have died. What makes Wang Kai so special? Are you saying all the other pilots who died weren't human beings too? Did they just deserve to die more than him? Lingling, oh Lingling, you are still far too naive. Since you put it that way, Director Li suddenly fell silent. That is right. As a mecha pilot, the moment he stepped into that cockpit, he should have been prepared to sacrifice himself at any time. Why should he get special treatment? Right, exactly. If Lin Zhenwei comes looking for trouble, I will just throw those words right back in his face. Having found his answer, Director Li's mood instantly brightened. He walked over to Li Lingling and gave her an excited hug. That is my good girl. Your quick wit just solved my biggest headache. Director Li then hurried back to sit at his desk, beginning to write the after-action report for this mission. This time, they had taken down the most powerful, level 8.7 super kaiju in history. He had to make sure he took full credit for this, even though the ones who actually destroyed the monster were that couple, and not the personnel from the Beijing mecha base. Who cares? Regardless, that monster was eliminated right here in Beijing City. Therefore, the Beijing mecha base deserves the credit. No one can take that away from us. Li Lingling walked up to the desk. Dad, actually, I have something to tell you. Go ahead. I am listening. Director Li did not even look up, continuing to write his report. I have been having this strange feeling lately. It is as if something is calling out to me, and this feeling is intensifying day by day. It is getting stronger and stronger. Upon hearing this, Director Li looked up, a hint of anxiety in his eyes. Something is calling you. Can you guess what it is? I do not know, but I suspect it is something very important, and it should be related to the power of Ultraman Grigio. So, I want to go out for a while, to find whatever is calling me. Director Li did not agree immediately. Instead, he lowered his head and pondered for a moment. Then he asked, will you be going far? Probably not that far. I can roughly sense it is over in Modu. Modu, huh? That really is not too far. Fine. When do you plan on leaving? Is tomorrow okay? All right. First thing tomorrow, I will arrange a helicopter to take you to Modu. However, if something happens here, you must return immediately to provide backup. Got it, I got it, Dad. Having gained Director Li's support and understanding, Li Lingling was overjoyed. She skipped happily out of the office. After Li Lingling left, Director Li's originally kind and gentle expression gradually turned solemn. Something that can attract an Ultraman. Could it be another Ultraman? I wonder just how many Ultramen there are in this world. Having so many Ultramen might not necessarily be a good thing. If there were only 1 or 2 Ultramen in the world, fighting kaiju in peace, without other distractions, that would definitely be a good thing. But if if there are too many of them? Conflicts are bound to break out between these giants. When gods clash, it is the mortals who suffer. When those Ultramen start fighting for humanity, it will be a catastrophic blow, perhaps even more terrifying than the Kaiju themselves. Door creaks. Chinyu pushed open the door and returned to Bai Yingying's home. Chinyu, you are back. At that moment, Bai Yingying, was sitting on the sofa in the living room watching TV. Seeing Chinyu return, Bai Yingying was delighted. Yeah, I had some business to take care of. That is why I am back late. Chinyu naturally sat down beside Bai Yingying. He watched TV together with her. The two chatted idly while watching the screen. Time slipped away before they knew it. The next day, the second phase, Chinyu thought of a brilliant way to make a quick buck, and it was completely legal. He hurriedly rushed to a lottery shop. Using his eye of Ultra, he used X-ray vision on those scratch-off tickets. He picked out every single winning ticket and scratched them. He spent the whole morning busy at work, traveling between over 10 different lottery shops. He scratched hundreds of tickets, making a net profit of over 20,000. Holding the cash earned from the scratch-offs, Chinyu was feeling pretty smug. At the same time, he could not help but complain about how rigged these lotteries were. After searching through so many stores, there was not a single jackpot ticket to be found. If I did not have X-ray vision, I would definitely be losing my shirt here. With money in hand, he could finally rent his own place. Chinyu headed straight for a real estate agency. He rented the apartment he had set his eyes on earlier. In the United Kingdom, Beth returned to the base, dragging her heavily injured body. Last night, her remaining energy was far too low. It was not enough to support her return to the USA, so she found a place to hide. After recovering for a long time, she finally had enough energy to return to the USA. Seeing Beth return with such severe injuries, everyone at the base was shocked. A burly, powerful-looking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed young man walked over to support Beth. Beth, what happened to you? How did you get hurt this badly? The man's name was Scott. Like Beth, he was also an Ultraman. Scott, one of the 3 USA Ultramen. Ultrawoman Beth replied weakly, "It is Noah. I fought with Noah. Noah was the one who wounded me. Quick, take me to the healing pod." All right, just hang in there. Scott carried Beth on his back and rushed her to the healing pod. He activated the medical systems. Mark and the other 3 Ultramen rushed over to check. The remaining 3 Ultramen of the USA were the last of the USA trio, Ultraman Chuck, as well as Ultraman Powered, and Ultraman Great. Seeing Beth lying in the pod, undergoing treatment, they were all filled with rage. What the hell happened? Why is Beth hurt so severely? Mark asked. Scott replied, "It is Noah." Beth said Noah was the one who took her down. Powered was fuming with anger. His eyes looked ready to spit fire. Noah actually dared to harm Beth. Is that bastard tired of living? It seems he has no intention of joining our great nation. This time I will go. I will go crush Noah and seize his power. I do not believe it, that someone would dare defy the will of the Empire. Chuck suddenly pulled Powered back. Powered, do not be so impulsive. Wait until Beth wakes up, so we can get the full story. Great also spoke up to dissuade him. Exactly. Beth's strength is not something to be scoffed at. He actually managed to wound her. It seems, Noah's strength is not as weak as we imagined. Powat gradually began to calm down. He had just let his emotions get the better of him for a moment. After being persuaded by his comrades, he became much more composed. An Ultraman's human host usually possesses a constitution far beyond that of a normal person. Even if they are injured, they recover much faster than ordinary humans. Combined with the assistance of the healing pod, Beth's injuries in just a short while were mostly healed. The healing pod opened. Beth regained consciousness. Seeing the crowd before her, she was not surprised at all. So you guys are here. Mark stepped forward and asked, Beth, what exactly happened? Weren't you representing the USA to recruit Ultraman Noah? Why did a battle break out? Has Noah already been recruited by the Dragon Country officials? Is he unwilling to defect to our USA? At the mention of this, Beth became livid with rage. Her delicate hands clenched into tight fists. That Noah is a lunatic. He was coveting the Ultraman power within me. He wanted to seize my power. He did not have the slightest interest in our recruitment. He attacked without saying a word. Everyone was shocked upon hearing this. Scott said angrily, he actually wanted to rob you of your Ultraman power. That guy is absolutely insane. A madman. He is definitely a madman. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the power of an Ultraman is immense. If one could absorb the power of other Ultramen, it would certainly make them even more powerful. It was not that no one among them had thought of this before, but their power levels were all very similar. If they truly fought to the death, it was hard to say who would win or lose. Therefore, no one had ever dared to reveal their true intentions. Noah's overly direct actions could potentially disrupt a certain balance. Beth became so agitated that she said, he is not just just a lunatic. He is a damn powerful lunatic. During our fight, I was suppressed the entire time. His power is incredibly overwhelming. In a one-on-one, I am no match for him at all. Oh, and there is one more thing. The Dragon Country already has another Ultraman. As far as I know, it is a female Ultra. She is silver all over, just like Noah. How is her strength? Mark followed up with a question. Her strength is quite mediocre. If it comes to a fight, I am confident I could easily defeat her. Judging by her appearance, the host is likely a young girl with no combat experience. Hearing that the host was just an inexperienced little girl, Mark's eyes instantly lit up. I will have someone find a way to investigate the identity of that female Ultraman. If there is an opportunity, we might be able to make a move and seize that female Ultra's power. On this point, Mark's thinking aligned perfectly with Director Lee's. As long as an Ultraman does not belong to their own country, they are better off dead. If they could steal the opponent's power to enhance their own strength, that would be even better. Chuck, who had been quiet, leaned forward. So you gained absolutely nothing from this trip to the Dragon Country, except for getting beat up by Noah. Back already after just one meal. It was not a total bust, though. I have uncovered the identity of Noah's host. His name is Chin Yu. Apparently, he is just a student from Beijing City in the Dragon Kingdom. When they heard Noah's host was actually just a student, everyone was stunned. A mere student possesses such overwhelming combat power. You have got to be kidding me. Yeah, he is a student. But before that, it seems he was a mecha pilot trainee, and a damn good one at that. Hearing this, it suddenly clicked for everyone. That makes sense. No ordinary student could be that lethal. But if he is a mecha pilot, then it is possible. Every mecha pilot undergoes the most rigorous training imaginable. Their combat skills and physical limits far exceed normal humans. So it is understandable if his Ultraman form is a bit more powerful than the rest. After all, an Ultraman's strength is directly tied to the host's own capabilities. That is a fact they have all acknowledged. Mark rubbed his chin, deep in thought. It was hard to tell what he was plotting. After a moment, he suddenly looked at Beth and asked, based on your encounter with Chin Yu, is there any chance we can recruit him? Beth immediately shook her head. Impossible. From what I saw, Chin Yu is incredibly arrogant. He won't let anyone put a leash on him, whether it is us or the Dragon Kingdom officials. The answer will be the same. Mark smirked. If that is the case, then let us send the Dragon Kingdom officials a little gift. Lei thought Mark had lost his mind. A gift for the Dragon Kingdom. Commander, you have not gone crazy with rage, have you? They are our enemies. Giving gifts to the enemy. Mark's gaze shifted to Lei. A look of surprise flashed across his face. Then he chuckled and said, oh, I am definitely giving them a gift. I am going to take the fact that Chin Yu is Ultraman Noah and make sure the whole world knows it. Since he is the first Ultraman to appear before the public, we might as well make him the first Ultraman whose secret identity is blown. Don't you think that is a big enough gift? Chuck immediately understood Mark's intention. You want to use Ultraman Noah. No, that is not it. You are using Chin Yu to stir up chaos within the Dragon Kingdom. Mark nodded. Exactly. That is the plan, since Chin Yu can't be tamed by the Dragon Kingdom, yet he is highly active within their borders. Once his identity is exposed, conflict between them is inevitable. Don't you think that'll be quite a show? Brilliant, Commander. I would expect nothing less from you. To think of such a devious masterstroke. Beth gave Mark a thumbs up. She had been injured by Chin Yu and was harboring a serious grudge. If there was a chance to make Chin Yu's life a living hell, she was more than happy to see it happen. All right, you lot, get back to training. I am going to talk to our contacts. We need to figure out how to leak Noah's identity, to make it as explosive as possible. The more people who know, the better. After Mark finished speaking, he turned and left. The others did not bother training. Instead, they started slacking off, discussing what kind of hell Chin Yu would face once he is outed. Dragon Kingdom, capital city. Lin Zhenwei, Wang Kai's grandfather, was practicing Tai Chi in his private courtyard. He was well advanced in years. Despite holding a high-ranking position, he was essentially in a state of semi-retirement. Unless it was a matter of grave importance, he rarely involved himself in military affairs anymore. A woman dressed in simple attire approached him, holding Lin Zhenwei's mobile phone. She was an official from Dragon Valley, specifically assigned as Lin Zhenwei's personal assistant, to manage his daily life. Sir, there is a call for you. It is the internal secure line. The internal line usually meant official business. Even Lin Zhenwei did not dare to be negligent. He halted his movements and took the phone from his assistant. Hello, this is Lin Zhenwei. Who is this, Elder Lin? This is Yi Yunlong. Yi Yunlong's solemn voice came through the receiver. Ah, little Yi, it is you. Calling me personally. What is the matter, Elder Lin? There is something I must tell you. I hope you are mentally prepared. You old fox. At my age, what storms have I not weathered? What could possibly shake me now? Just say it plainly. Stop beating around the bush. Wang Kai is dead. Hearing this, the smile on Lin Zhenwei's face vanished instantly. His eyes became as cold as freezing ice. What did you say? Say that again. Wang Kai is dead. On the other end of the line, Yi Yunlong could already imagine how furious Lin Zhenwei would be upon hearing this news. Wang Kai was Lin Zhenwei's favorite grandson, the one he placed the most hope in. He had nurtured him carefully since childhood. Now, he was suddenly gone. Decades of effort, ruined in an instant. It would be strange if he could stay calm. How did Wang Kai die? Lin Zhenwei suppressed the burning rage in his heart. During a battle with a level 8.7 super kaiju, he perished along with the monster. Perished with a level 8.7 super kaiju. How is that possible? When did a level 8.7 super kaiju even appear? Why did not I know about this? It happened last night. Due to the sensitive nature of the event, there was no live broadcast, and it has not been made public yet. Currently, only a very few people know. Lin Zhenwei had been in high positions for years, and was well acquainted with the protocols of the Dragon Kingdom's High Command. A level 8.7 kaiju had never appeared in history. It is absolutely appalling. If word got out that such a monster existed, it would surely cause widespread panic. Therefore, it had to be kept under wraps. The public could not be allowed to know. The already elderly Lin Zhenwei seemed to age 10 years in an instant. His entire spirit seemed to have withered away. Everything felt hollow. Can Wang Kai's body be sent back? I am afraid not. Wang Kai was hit by Qin Yu's cross-ray storm. He was disintegrated directly at the atomic level. There is no body left. Why did the monster eat Wang Kai? Not even a bone left. Thinking that his grandson might have been devoured by a monster, without even a corpse remaining, Lin Zhenwei was consumed by an even deeper, agonizing grief. Devastating. Yi Yunlong did not dare to tell Lin Zhenwei the actual truth. I can only give you a vague explanation. Old Lin, the situation is basically like this. Nothing remains of Lin Yi's body. Therefore, we could not bring his remains back to you. Please accept my deepest condolences. From my perspective, since he chose to be a mecha pilot, he must have been prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice at any time, to perish alongside the most powerful, level 8.7 super kaiju in history. Well, that is a glorious way to go. What could Lin Zhenwei possibly say at a time like this? He could not exactly lash out at Yi Yunlong. After all, he was the one who sent Lin Yi to the dangerous front lines. It was his own request. He hoped his grandson could rack up some combat merits at the front, to ensure he would inherit the Lin family's status in the future. He never imagined it would become his grandson's death warrant, sending his grandson straight to the grave. Who is to blame? He can only blame his own rotten luck. I appreciate your understanding. That is enough, old Lin. At my age, what is there left to be hung up on? Let us leave it at that. Lin Zhenwei let out a long, heavy sigh. He hung up the phone. However, inside, he was not nearly as composed as he appeared on the surface. He immediately turned around and dialed another number. The call was answered quickly. Little Zhang, are you aware that my grandson, Lin Yi, is dead? The Little Zhang Lin Zhenwei referred to was a high-ranking official at the capital Mecha base headquarters. Although Lin Zhenwei could not directly interfere with Mecha base affairs, planting a few of his own confidants inside was a small matter, as easy as flipping his palm. Chief, so you have already heard the news. How did Lin Yi die? Yi Yunlong said. Lin Yi died taking down an 8.7 level super kaiju with him. Is that the truth? You could say that. Hearing Little Zhang's answer, Lin Zhenwei was slightly displeased. It either is or it is not. Don't play word games with me. What do you mean, you could say that? Is there some hidden agenda behind Lin Yi's death? It is not exactly a hidden agenda. But given the situation back then, old Lin, are you sure you want to know the truth? I am afraid that once you find out, you won't be able to handle it. Listen, Chief. The real story is, the one actually fighting that level 8.7 super kaiju was actually Ultraman Noah. Lin Yi and a few others were just watching from the sidelines. Noah had already beaten the monster to within an inch of its life. Lin Yi suddenly rushed out to steal the kill. Noah, rightfully annoyed, stepped in to stop him. Then the dying kaiju made a final desperate lunge, getting tangled up with Lin Yi's mecha. When Noah finished off the kaiju, he conveniently killed Lin Yi in the process. Just from that description, it is already quite obvious. Lin Yi's death was entirely his own doing. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Some people just never learn that lesson. However, saying it is one thing, but expecting someone to calmly accept such an outcome is easier said than done. So what you are saying is, the one who really killed Lin Yi was Ultraman Noah. He disregarded Lin Yi's safety, unleashed his attack, and wiped out Lin Yi along with the Kaiju. That is how it went down, is not it? Chief, if you want to look at it that way, I suppose you are not wrong. Fine, I got it. Lin Zhenwei hung up the phone, his face flushed with fury. The personal assistant standing nearby did not even dare to breathe. He could easily imagine just how livid Lin Zhenwei was right now. The family heir they had placed all their hopes on was dead just like that. Ultraman Noah. No matter who you are, I will see you dead. I will make you join my grandson in the grave. If Qinyu heard Lin Zhenwei's words, he would probably laugh himself to death. Wants me dead, that is hilarious. If I do not destroy this entire planet, you all should be thanking the heavens for my mercy. A bunch of ants, actually trying to fathom a god. Did they really think I am as kind-hearted and easygoing as Junhaimea and Ren Senju? At dusk, Li Lingling was walking through the bustling streets of the metropolis. She could feel it. That calling was getting closer and closer, until she arrived at a mall entrance. She saw two people in panda mascot costumes, handing out flyers. Li Lingling knew she had found the ones she was looking for. She walked up behind one of them, and playfully pulled off the person's mascot head. Inside the costume was a fairly handsome young man. He looked even younger than Li Lingling. What are you doing? After his headpiece was removed, the boy turned around and asked in confusion. Li Lingling did not bother hiding anything. She got straight to the point. Are you an Ultraman? Hearing Li Lingling's words, the boy's expression turned frantic. His eyes looked helpless. Li Lingling smiled. No need to deny it. I know you are an Ultraman, because I am one too. As soon as she said that, the panic on the boy's face vanished instantly, replaced by pure joy. You are an Ultraman too. Which Ultraman are you? I am Ultraman Grigio. And you, Li Lingling frankly revealed the Ultraman power she possessed, and questioned him in return. I am Ultraman Raso. My name is Katsumi, and that is my younger brother next to me. As he spoke, the young man pointed to the other panda mascot. He is Ultraman Blue. Raso and Blue. Hearing the names of these two Ultramen, Li Lingling felt a profound stir in her heart. She felt like these two Ultramen, and the Ultraman Grigio she transformed into, shared a very deep connection. Isami saw his older brother chatting with Li Lingling, and neglecting the flyers. He walked over, took off his headpiece and complained, Bro, you are not working hard. What are you doing here just gossiping? Isami's looks were almost identical to Katsumi's. Strangers would not be able to tell them apart at all. The only difference between the two was likely just their hairstyle. The older brother had bangs. The younger brother showed his forehead. Katsumi excitedly said to his brother, Little brother, this big sister is just like us. She is also an Ultraman. We have finally found one of our own. Isami's expression changed instantly upon hearing this. He hurriedly pulled Katsumi to the side. Bro, are you stupid? You do not even know her background or her motives, and you just admit it like that. What if she has some bad intentions? What then? Katsumi scratched his head sheepishly. No way. I feel a strange sense of familiarity just by looking at her. I feel like I can really trust her. I do not even know why. You have not been bewitched or something, have you? I will go check her out myself. Han Yang is not buying it yet. Li Lingling is pretty sure, but she should not have that much of a magnetic pull. Right. She deliberately kept a straight face as she walked up to Li Lingling. However, the moment she saw Li Lingling's face clearly, her heart subconsciously melted. All the words she had prepared were swallowed right back down. Her tone became gentler than ever before. Hello, sister. My name is Han Yang. Are you an Ultraman just like us? I am not sure what you are looking for us for. Li Lingling pondered for a moment. Unfortunately, she could not quite put it into words. She could only shake her head. To be honest, I do not know why I came to find you either. I just had this inexplicable urge in my heart. I knew you were here, so I really wanted to come and meet you. Maybe it has something to do with the Ultraman we transform into. I wonder what kind of transformation device you use. Is it a Euro flash like mine? Han Yang nodded repeatedly. Exactly, when my brother and I want to transform, we both need to use a Euro flash. Upon learning this fact, Li Lingling became even more excited. So here's the thing. If I said, I want to invite you to join the Dragon Kingdom's Mecha department, to become warriors protecting the Dragon Kingdom, would you be willing? Han Yang could not possibly refuse. Li Lingling, seriously, do we really have that honor? Actually, in the past, we have always wanted to become mecha pilots. Unfortunately, the requirements were way too high. Neither of us qualified. If we can join the mecha department, under our identities as Ultraman hosts, then we are absolutely willing to protect the world, and contribute our strength. The nearby Hai Luo also immediately voiced his agreement. That is right, if it is possible. We are willing to join the Dragon Kingdom's mecha department, to become the Ultra Warriors. who safeguard the Dragon Kingdom. Good, good. That is great, truly wonderful. I will tell my dad the good news right away. Congratulations to you both. You are now part of the Dragon Kingdom Mecha base, specifically the Beijing branch. Li Lingling quickly called Director Li. She informed Director Li of this fantastic news, learning that Li Lingling had gone out and actually managed to recruit 2 Ultramen. Director Li was grinning from ear to ear. Nothing could be better than this. The more Ultramen the Dragon Kingdom has now, the stronger their power becomes, and the higher the safety margin for the city. Director Li immediately told Li Lingling to bring the Hai brothers back to Beijing City. Hai Luo and Hai Yang did not even care about their wages anymore. They packed their things overnight and returned to Beijing City with Li Lingling. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. Qin Yu moved out of the Bayan family's home. He began living on his own. He spent 2 days living a quiet and peaceful life. For these 2 days, there were no Kaiju, no Ultraman, no Mechas. Everything was just like the world he used to live in. Even though Qin Yu enjoyed transforming into Ultraman to fight Kaiju, living like this once in a while made him feel exceptionally comfortable. Once the morning classes ended, Qin Yu left the classroom and headed for the library. On the rooftop of one of the school buildings, a mysterious figure, hidden beneath a dark cloak, stares intently at the hurrying Qin Yu, letting out a sinister laugh. Hee hee. Noah, I have put a lot of blood and sweat into this one. I have gone through hell and back to find a nice little treat for you. I hope you do not let my expectations down. Have fun playing with the big guy that first have prepared just for you. With that, the mysterious figure makes a familiar gesture, raising both hands to the sky, releasing a surge of dark energy. The next second, in the sky above the school, a massive black energy vortex appears. Lightning crackles, and thunder roars at the center of the vortex. A terrifying sense of dread begins to manifest. Many students notice the black vortex in the sky. What on earth is that? It looks like something seriously bad is about to happen. Man, I have got a really bad feeling about this. That pitch black thing. No matter how you look at it, it can't be anything good. Hey, listen to me, everyone. Why are not you guys running yet? That thing screams villain arrival if I have ever seen it. How could a hero ever conjure up something that dark and ominous? I am getting out of here first. He's right, oh my god. Run, sorry about this, but it is every man for himself. Stop watching the show, run for your lives. Chaos erupts across the school grounds. Students and teachers are fleeing in every direction. Qin Yu looks up at the black vortex, activating his ultra eyes. The secrets within the black vortex are laid bare before his ultra eyes. The vortex contains a terrifying amount of dark energy. Must be a big one, much stronger than any of those previous monsters. Just as well, since unlocking my Junis red form, I have not had a chance to test it in battle yet. Alright then, I will use this thing as my warm-up. Qin Yu is the calmest person in the entire school. He stands his ground, unmoving, staring straight at the black vortex, waiting for whatever is hidden within to descend. At the same time, at the Beijing Mecha base, the black vortex has also been detected. Director, we have a problem. In the skies over the city, a massive energy fluctuation has been detected. According to satellite monitoring, this energy surge is coming from a black vortex. The technicians project the live footage onto the large screen in the command center. Seeing the black vortex so full of ill omens, Director Li furrows his brow. What on earth is that thing? A kaiju or something else entirely? Regardless of what it is, we need to be prepared. He turns to the others. Tell Lingling and Hala, along with the third person, to head to the scene and investigate. Also, have Li Lu and his team put their mechas on standby. Be ready to provide support at a moment's notice. Even though they now have 3 Ultramen, acting as biological weapons, Director Li still has not given up on the idea of using mechas in combat. Though a mecha's power is far inferior to an Ultraman, in certain situations, they might just come in handy. Hala transforms into Ultraman Rosso, and rushes to the scene with Li Lingling and Hai Yang. As they land with a heavy thud, dust clouds billow, and the ground trembles slightly. Qin Yu sees Ultraman Rosso appear. First a look of surprise, then the corners of his mouth curl into a slight smirk. Ultraman Rosso, interesting. Grigio and Rosso, does that mean Blue is about to show up too? If the 3 of them fuse into Ruby, I wonder if they could actually hold their own against my Junis red form. As everyone knows, when the trio of Rosso, Blue, and Grigio stick together, they are a blazing fire, but scattered, they are just flickering stars. Individually, their power levels are nowhere near that of a standard Ultraman. But if they fuse into Ultraman Ruby, The tables turn completely. Ultraman Ruby possesses ultimate class power. Among the strongest forms of the new generation Ultras, that form definitely ranks near the top. After all, combining the strength of 3 Ultras is bound to pack a serious punch. Hai Luo gently placed Li Lingling, whom he was holding, onto the ground. Then, condensing a fireball in one hand, he hurled it toward the black vortex in the sky. It was just a probing attack. Ultras Rosso and Blue can utilize different RB crystals to switch between elemental forms and unleash various elemental skills. At this moment, Rosso, transformed by Hai Luo, is in flame form. Naturally, the skills he uses are all aligned with the fire element. Upon hitting the black vortex, the fireball was instantly swallowed whole. It did not even leave a ripple. Good grief, that black vortex is terrifying. It just devoured my energy blast in a heartbeat. What now? Hai Luo used his ultra telepathy to project his voice into the minds of Li Lingling and Hai Yang. Before he could finish, the black vortex in the sky suddenly surged. Boom! A much larger and more violent fireball erupted from the black vortex, streaking straight toward Hai Luo. Hai Luo instinctively deployed an ultra barrier. The fireball slammed into the barrier with a deafening roar, shattering it instantly. The massive explosive shockwave sent an unguarded Hai Luo flying, crashing into a building behind him. Seeing Hai Luo take a hit, Li Lingling and Hai Yang could not just stand by. They immediately pulled out their gyros to transform. Li Lingling became Ultraman Grigio. Hai Yang became Ultraman Blue. In his aqua form, both charged up their energy simultaneously, unleashing their respective finishing moves. The black vortex in the sky witnessed their desperate actions. Qinyu could not help but roast their stupidity. The enemy has not even shown its face yet, and you are already blowing your ultimates. This is a masterclass in how to feed the enemy. Unfortunately, they could not hear Qinyu's sarcasm. They foolishly fired their ultimate beams into the sky. Grigio shot and the aqua stream, 1 gold and 1 blue beam of light, soared toward the black vortex. This time, the black vortex did not absorb the beams. Instead, it released a massive surge of lightning, colliding head-on with the 2 Ultras finishers. Rumble, rumble, a terrifying clash of energy erupted into a heavens-shaking explosion mid-air. As the flames dissipated, an incredibly hideous and terrifying beetle-like monster appeared before everyone's eyes. The insectoid space beast Bugbazon makes its grand entrance. What a disgusting monster. As a young woman, Li Lingling had an innate psychological fear of such grotesque creatures. In an instant, they were paralyzed by the horrifying appearance of the insectoid beast. Hai Yang was shaking like a leaf. It feels like this kaiju is on a completely different level. Even our combined ultimate moves could not take him down. I am afraid this is going to be a hell of a fight. Hai Luo brushed the dust off his armor, rushing over to join Li Lingling. Ling, Hai Yang, and Hai Luo stood shoulder to shoulder. Don't sweat it, there are 3 of us, and only 1 of that monster. 3 against 1, the odds are in our favor. Don't underestimate them. Right now, the only advantage we actually have seems to be just the head count. The insectoid let out a screech, a primal roar echoing, as it charged straight at the 3 Ultramen. The 3 Ultramen braced themselves, unleashing their maximum power to meet the insectoid beast head-on. From the distance, the people watching the 3 Ultramen battle the beast were moved to tears of hope. 3 Ultramen against 1 kaiju. This round is definitely in the bag. Who knew that besides Ultraman Noah, there were so many other Ultramen? Those Ultramen, are they all forces protecting our Dragon Kingdom? God bless the Dragon Kingdom. With these 3 here plus Ultraman Noah, the Dragon Kingdom is guarded by 4 Ultramen. I wonder how those 3 compare to Ultraman Noah. Who do you think is actually stronger? Definitely Ultraman Noah. Noah looks way cooler than these 3. Does being cool pay the bills? Out here in the real world, raw power is what talks. These 3 need a triple team just to fight 1 monster. Their power levels must be lacking. I agree, it looks a bit dicey. We still need Ultraman Noah to save the day. Speaking of which, why has not Ultraman Noah shown up yet? Do you think these Ultramen are on a shift rotation, taking turns to come out and fight? Holy crap! That might actually be possible. But what if the 3 of them can't win? If they lose, then we are all toast. These spectators have no idea. Their very fear of the kaiju is fueling the insectoid beast. Space beasts feed on human terror. As long as humanity is gripped by fear, they can continuously absorb those emotions to augment their own strength. While Li Lingling and the others were locked in combat with the beast, the technicians at the Beijing Mecha base finally finished their calculations. The insectoid beast's danger level is 10.0. The threat level of this monster has reached an unprecedented 10.0. When the technician spoke these words, his voice was laced with disbelief. Even he felt that this number was absolutely insane. Even Director Li, who thought his nerves were steeled for anything, felt his legs go weak the moment he heard the number 10.0. A danger level 10.0 kaiju, how is that possible? It can't be. In our initial theories, a level 10.0 entity is a being capable of easily obliterating an entire planet. Is this monster here to completely wipe out Earth? Could the calculations be wrong? That insect monster is indeed a level 10.0 existence. There is no mistake. The technician was confident in his systems, refusing to believe he could err on this. However, at this moment, Director Lee desperately wished the technician was wrong. He wished the danger level was just a miscalculation, and that the insectoid beast was not actually that terrifying. Facing the strongest level 10.0 kaiju in history, even with 3 Ultramen in the Dragon Kingdom, he had no confidence in a victory. Director Li Lu and the other 2 pilots' mechas are ready. Should we deploy them? The subordinate asked. No, there is no need. A level 10 mega kaiju. I am afraid even a casual strike from it is more than those mechas can withstand. If they go now, they will just be march ENG to their deaths. Don't let them go. The outcome of this battle seems to rest entirely on Ling Ling and her team. Only the power of Ultraman can deal with such terrifying mega kaiju. Director Lee was at least self-aware. He initially thought about sending Li Lu's team to help, but knowing the opponent was a level 10 super kaiju, he immediately abandoned that foolish idea, sparing several elite mecha pilots from a suicide mission. Everyone was praying, hoping that Li Lingling, Hala, and the 3rd member could live up to expectations, defeat the insectoid beast, and save the world. Yet the 3 who bore everyone's hopes were currently being slaughtered by the insectoid beast. The trio tried their best to strike the creature, but their attacks hitting the insectoid beast were all deflected by the surface of its rock-hard chitinous carapace. They could not deal a single scratch to the beast. On the other hand, the insectoid beast possessed peerless, terrifying strength. Every random blow it landed was a critical hit. The 3 Ultramen were being beaten into a pathetic state. The surrounding spectators watched in utter despair. They had originally assumed that with 3 Ultramen fighting together, defeating a kaiju would be a walk in the park, an easy win. Who would have thought these 3 Ultramen could be this weak? 3 against 1, and they are still getting bullied by the kaiju. Compared to Ultraman Noah's performance, they are not even on the same level. What is going on? I feel like these 3 Ultramen are so weak. Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, they really are pathetic. These 3, are they even the same kind of Ultraman as Noah? It seems not every Ultraman is a powerhouse. For instance, these 3 right here are definitely amateur tier Ultraman. God, Ultraman Noah, please come out already. My heart can't take this anymore. Exactly, Ultraman Noah. Please show yourself. These 3 look completely unreliable. They can't beat this kaiju. Ultraman Noah, at a time like this, only you can save us. Ultraman Noah, where are you? Everyone is waiting for Noah's arrival to crush the kaiju like a thunderbolt and end this crisis. But Chinyu was enjoying the show too much, and was in no hurry to make a move. The mysterious figure prepared this kaiju, specifically to force Chinyu to act. Who knew that while Chinyu stayed back, Li Lingling's trio would jump in and get into a heated scrap with the insectoid beast. This made the mysterious figure furious at the 3 idiots. With that pathetic strength of yours, you dare to challenge my carefully prepared space beast. Get the hell out of my way. Don't interfere with my plans. As soon as those words fell, the insectoid beast seemed to be controlled by some mysterious power. It fell into a berserk frenzy, becoming far more ferocious than before. Li Lingling and her team of 3 were originally no match for the insectoid space beast. Facing an even more ferocious version of the beast, it became nearly impossible to hold their ground. The insectoid space beast's claw slashed across Rasso's body, slicing open Rasso's abdomen. The wound gaped open, and golden energy, looking just like blood, continuously spilled from Rasso's abdomen. It looked exactly like a human bleeding out. The sharp claws of the insectoid space beast could even pierce through Ultraman Nexus's skin easily, let alone others. So, tearing through Ultraman Rasso's skin was a total walk in the park. Rasso let out a pained scream, clutching his abdomen as he retreated to the side. The severe injury made it difficult for him to continue the fight. I will heal you. Don't panic, Li Lingling, the team's healer, finally stepped up. She released a golden healing beam toward Rasso. This move is precisely Ultraman Grigio's signature skill. Grigio Cheer Charge. It can instantly heal injuries on other Ultramen, while recharging their energy, extending their combat time. The wound on Rasso's abdomen recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. The golden blood stopped flowing. What an amazing healing technique. This is way too OP. The pain is gone just like that. Rasso was beyond shocked. He checked his abdomen, and there was not even a trace of the injury left. Seeing this, Chinyu mused to himself, if Junji had a healer like this by his side back then, I can't even imagine how hard he would have wrecked those space beasts. With his injuries healed, Rosso rejoined the battle, relying on Li Lingling's constant healing and HP recovery for the duo. Rosso and Blue somehow managed to withstand the insectoid space beasts' wave after wave of attacks, but they could only barely hold their own against the insectoid space beast. The three of them still could not break through the beast's defense. As 2 minutes ticked by, the energy of the three Ultramen began to fail. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Asterisk. The color timers on the chests of all three Ultramen started flashing simultaneously. The warning sounds echoed one after another. This situation made the watching civilians even more panicked. Why did their lights start flashing? Don't tell me they are reaching their limit. All I see is them taking a beating. They have not even landed a decent hit on the monster. They are probably about to fold. This team composition is all wrong. 2 tanks and a healer. How are they going to beat the boss without a DPS? Bro, you think this is a video game? Look at how squishy those 2 Ultramen look. Do they look like tanks to you? I think they are both just total noobs. Why has not Ultraman Noah shown up yet? Is Ultraman Noah really going to just stand by and watch as these 3 Ultramen get defeated by the insect monster? Maybe these 3 Ultramen are not even on the same side as Ultraman Noah. That is why Ultraman Noah is ignoring them. Even if they are not on the same side, Ultraman Noah should not just stay indifferent toward this monster. Could it be that even Ultraman Noah thinks he can't beat this monster, so he is unwilling to show his face? Holy crap, that is actually possible. Did Ultraman Noah chicken out? He definitely chickened out. Ultraman Noah does not even dare to show up. Noah, you useless piece of trash. To think I actually looked up to you. I even defended you all over the internet. Turns out you are just a total coward. I really misjudged you. If Ultraman Noah does not show up in the next 3 seconds, then I am done. Consider this fan officially turned hater. Ultraman Noah is no savior. He is a fraud. Even though this treasure tier Ultraman is weak, at least he has the guts to face powerful kaijus. He stepped up to fight heroically. But Noah, he is just playing the turtle, hiding in his shell. He is a spineless wimp. Noah, I despise you. Noah, you are a waste of space. Noah, get out here right now. Noah, are you freaking dead already? Why the hell are not you showing up? When their cries went unanswered, the people's faith in Noah shattered in an instant. They began attacking Noah with the most poisonous words imaginable, trying to provoke Noah into appearing. Yet Noah had never made them any promises. Everything was just their own wishful thinking, but they took it for granted that an Ultraman is obligated to destroy monsters, obligated to protect humanity. Luckily, Chinyu has no idea what these people are saying, though if he did find out, it is not like he would care anyway, because he could not care less about the opinions of others. Li Lingling provided another burst of healing for Rosso and Blue. She said anxiously, we are in deep trouble. Our transformation time is almost up. If we can't take this kaiju down now, it is game over. Blue suggested, let us bet it all. We fire our beams together. Concentrate all fire on a single point. Let us see if we can blast this monster to hell. It is worth a shot. Better than letting this beast drain our energy to zero. Rosso agreed with his brother's proposal. It is our only move left. Li Lingling could not think of a better plan. She had no choice but to agree. The 3 of them retreated simultaneously, creating distance from the insectoid kaiju. They lined up in formation, then rapidly charged up their energy, and unleashed their ultimate finishing beams together. Grigio shot, Flame Sphere Ray, Aqua Stream Beam, Golden Light, Red Fireballs and Blue Water Streams. 3 distinct energy beams surged forth, converging into a single point ahead. Unexpectedly, a miraculous chemical reaction occurred, fusing into a rainbow-colored energy blast. It streaked directly toward the insectoid kaiju. Facing the triple beam assault, the insectoid kaiju displayed terrifying defensive power. It turned its back, choosing to use its reinforced chitin shell to tank the combined beam head-on. The 3 pushed their output to the maximum, expending every last drop of energy. Once it hit the critical limit, a massive explosion erupted. Boom, boom, boom. The flash from the explosion surged into the sky, rising hundreds of meters high. Even those far, far away could see the insectoid kaiju's silhouette. Everything within a kilometer radius was swallowed by the inferno of the blast. Fortunately, the mysterious figure had placed the insectoid kaiju on the outskirts of the school. Otherwise, the entire campus might have been completely leveled in this explosion. If the principal saw this, he would probably lose his damn mind. Li Lingling, Rosso, and the others, all three of them, had energy timers flashing faster and faster on their chests. Weakened, the three of them collapsed to their knees. That final beam has completely drained the last of their energy. The three of them can't keep fighting anymore. Did we win? Director Lee mutters, his eyes glued to the screen. His palms are drenched in sweat without him even realizing it. Ultraman Noah is still nowhere to be seen. If the three of them can't take down this insectoid space beast, he daren't even imagine the magnitude of the crisis Beijing City is about to face. It was not just him. Everyone watching this battle is praying in silence, hoping that the trio can emerge victorious. However, the greater the hope, the deeper the despair. From within the roaring explosive flames, the insectoid beast drags its massive frame, and actually begins to crawl out slowly. The fire could not inflict any real damage on it. On its back, there is a terrifying, gruesome wound that continues to bleed profusely. That was the damage dealt by their combined crossbeam. While their individual combat skills might be a bit mid, their fusion skill actually packs quite a punch. Even if it could not vaporize the space beast, it was enough to barely break through its defense. Roar. Suffering such a severe injury, the insectoid beast is absolutely livid. With a thunderous howl, it charges frantically toward Li Lingling at the center. Seeing this, the Rosso and Blue brothers do not hesitate for a second to step up. They throw themselves in front of Li Lingling. This scene is just like a sacrificial play. Two older brothers protecting their comrade, taking the full force of a killing blow. Boom boom. Rosso and Blue are sent flying by the insectoid beast's impact. The two of them lose their transformation mid-air. Their bodies quickly turn translucent, reverting to their human forms. Damn you, monster. I will take you down with me. Li Lingling screams with unyielding defiance. She wants to fight to the death, but she no longer has the strength to keep going. Beep 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 beep. The energy indicator on her chest stops flashing. Her body, just like the two brothers, quickly fades away and reverts to her human state. They lost. Those three Ultramen actually lost. How could this happen? Three of them could not even take down one monster. Just how strong is this thing? Is this really the end of the world? Stop watching, run for your lives. Beijing City is finished. You are right, run, get out of here now. Ultraman Noah. Where on earth are you? Why are you still refusing to show up? Are you really too scared to face this monster? Don't bother counting on Noah at a time like this. If those three could not win, what good would Noah be even if he did show up? Noah is just a useless coward anyway. He does not even have the guts to face the beast. I despise him. Noah, you are a piece of trash. Even if I am going to die, I will spend my last breath flaming you online. Noah, if I somehow survive this, I am going to be your biggest hater forever. Noah, where the hell are you? Get out here already. The defeat of the three Ultramen dealt a heavy blow to the people's morale. They have fallen into utter despair. Terror begins to spread through the city like a plague, and this is exactly what the insectoid beast feeds on. The monster lets out a satisfied hiss, greedily absorbing the surrounding fear. It began to wantonly destroy everything in its path, plunging the people into even greater depths of terror. Jinyu watched the space beast's smug display, a faint smirk playing on the corner of his lips. The protagonist always makes his entrance last. Since those three extras have exited the stage, it is time for the lead actor to step up. The Evoltruster materialized in his hand. Jinyu unsheathed the Evoltruster, and a prismatic light enveloped him, bursting forth with an unprecedented dazzling radiance. Seeing Jinyu finally willing to transform and face the space beast, the mysterious figure finally looked satisfied. That is more like it, Noah. This was the grand gift I prepared specifically for you. Only by receiving it personally can you feel the full extent of my sincerity. Haha. As the light faded, Ultraman Nexus, Chinyu's transformed state, appeared before the world in his Anthon's form. He was like a beacon of light in the dead of night, reigniting the people's hope. It is Noah. Noah has finally appeared. Scared the life out of me. I really thought Ultraman Noah was not coming. Turns out he was just pulling a feint on us. I knew it. Ultraman Noah would never abandon humanity. Ultraman Noah, hurry up and take down that monster. Ultraman Noah, I believe in your power. This monster is definitely no match for you. Ultraman Noah, I am begging you. You have to defeat this monster. You are our last hope. Ultraman Noah, go for it, Ultraman Noah. For those three Ultramen, you must avenge them. While some were thrilled by Noah's arrival, cheering him on, others were dissatisfied with Noah's late appearance, hurling bitter insults. Noah, why are you only showing up now? If you were any later, the whole world would be destroyed. Did you show up late on purpose? Those three Ultramen are dead. You came late just to get them killed, did not you? Noah, I really misjudged you. I thought you were a hero who saves the world, but showing up this late is just disappointing. Can you even call yourself a hero, Noah? These people were either complaining that Qin Yu arrived too late, or believed Noah stood by and watched, deliberately choosing not to save Li Lingling. Their conflicting arguments all reached Qin Yu's ears. However, to these words, Qin Yu turned a deaf ear. He did not care in the slightest. His eyes were fixed solely on the enemy before him, the Space Beast. The Space Beast was an extremely powerful monster. Each one possessed dozens of times the combat power of an ordinary monster. Without a power-up, an average Ultraman would struggle to win against such a beast even at full strength. The recent defeat of Li Lingling and her team perfectly demonstrated the overwhelming power of the Space Beast. But for Nexus, the de-evolved form of Noah, though the Space Beast was strong, it was far from invincible. Noah, you have finally showed up. With you here, this wave should be under control, right? Seeing Nexus appear on the screen, Director Li felt as if he would been given a shot of adrenaline. His heart instantly settled with relief, judging from all his past performances. Noah possessed the power to crush Grigio, the enemies that Grigio and the others could not defeat. Perhaps Noah can win this fight with his hands tied behind his back. Judging by his performance in past battles, Noah has left a lasting impression on Director Li as an invincible and unbeatable force. He diligently settles into a combat stance. Although his physique, compared to the Bug Space Beast, appears somewhat slender, his presence is not lacking in the slightest. The Bug Space Beast lunges straight at Qin Yu. Qin Yu concentrates energy into both hands, firing two golden particle feather beams. As a feeler attack, boom boom. The beams strike the Bug Space Beast's body, erupting in a shower of sparks. On the Bug Space Beast's hide, only two faint scars remain. Compared to Grigio, the power of Nexus's Anfin's form is many times stronger, yet it still fails to completely breach the beast's armor. Taking the hits only makes the Bug Space Beast grow even more berserk. It swings its sharp claws, lashing out at Qin Yu. Qin Yu backflips to dodge the creature's onslaught, then counters with a swift backhand chop. It lands squarely on the Bug Space Beast, but the result is the same as before. He is still unable to deal any significant damage to the monster. Seeing both attacks fail to make an impact, many of the onlookers begin to doubt Qin Yu's true strength. It looks like Noah is not much different from those three Ultramen just now. Yeah, Noah's offensive power, while a bit stronger than the previous three, still can't crack that monster's defense. That beast is simply too powerful. Even Noah is no match for it. Is this really the end of the world? However, some still blindly believe that Qin Yu will prevail. No, I believe in Noah. Noah is the greatest Ultraman. He will definitely defeat this monster. As for Noah, maybe he is still hiding his real trump cards. If he gets serious, he can definitely take this monster down. Noah, you have got this. Don't let us down. Don't let the haters look down on us fans. Noah, show them what you are made of. Go Noah. Both sides hold their own opinions, and a heated argument breaks out among the crowd. Director Li originally thought that once Qin Yu stepped in, he would toy with his opponent just like before, defeating the enemy with ease and securing a quick victory. He did not expect that right from the start. Both attacks would be easily tanked by the enemy's defense. This causes even Director Li to lose control and start questioning Qin Yu's strength. Noah is indeed strong, and even his basic attacks have some effect, far exceeding Lingling and the others. But against the enemy's massive defense, he seems to be struggling to keep up. Is this really all he is capable of? Is this the limit of Qin Yu's skill? The answer, of course, is a resounding no. He still has a trump card, the Junus Red form. Right now, he is just using the Silver Anfin's form to treat the Bug Space Beast as a warm-up. The Bug Space Beast retaliates, its claws slashing at Qin Yu like a madman. It is brutal to the extreme. Facing the enemy's overwhelming power, Qin Yu seems unable to strike back. He can only dodge repeatedly, struggling to maneuver around the beast. The battle between the two becomes exceptionally intense. For a moment, neither can gain the upper hand. At the same time, the United States is also closely monitoring this fight. For some time now, they have been plotting to expose Qin Yu's true identity. However, they lacked the perfect opportunity to completely blow Qin Yu's cover and create a massive sensation that the whole world would notice. They needed a truly explosive catalyst. Because of this, the USA has been keeping a close eye on Beijing City, waiting for the right moment to strike. The appearance of this insect, Kaiju, made them realize their chance had finally come. Earlier, Li Lingling and the others deployed 3 Ultramen to engage the insect kaiju in battle, which gave them quite a shock. They never expected that the Dragon Country already commanded 3 Ultramen. Although the individual combat power of these 3 seemed somewhat underwhelming, no matter how weak they appeared, they are still Ultramen. They are not something ordinary mechas can compare to. Even humanity's strongest SSS-class mecha cannot defeat even the weakest Ultraman. An Ultraman is a strategic level weapon, and yet, the USA's archrival, the Dragon Country, possesses 3. For the USA's interests, this is definitely not good news. Beth had fought Qin Yu before, and had a deep sense of his overwhelming power. Before today, she could never have imagined that a monster could actually exist, capable of going toe-to-toe with Qin Yu. Tell me, is it possible for Noah to defeat that insect kaiju? Chuck analyzed while stroking his chin. Hard to say. That kaiju's hide is way too thick. It won't be easy to break through. If we were the ones dealing with it, we would need at least 3 of us to deploy, just to take it down safely. Mark, however, saw the issue from a different angle. Look at it this way. If Noah fails to beat this monster, then so be it. But if he actually wins, it means that he alone is worth 3 of us. Is that what you are getting at? Chuck raised an eyebrow. You could put it that way. If Noah wins this, then he is truly god tier. Scott frowned, intently watching the battle on the video feed. For some reason, he felt that Noah would not be so easily defeated. A minute passed by. The battle remained in a deadlock. Qin Yu's attacks still struggled to pierce the insect kaiju's defense. Conversely, the insect kaiju's strikes could not land a single hit on Qin Yu. I would say the warm-up is about over. Qin Yu leapt back, creating some distance from the insect kaiju. Warm-up's done. Time to show you what I have really got. You will be the first to face my Junus red form. Consider it an honor. As he spoke, Qin Yu's entire body erupted in a crimson glow. His physical form began to undergo a subtle transformation. When the red light faded, Ultraman Nexus in his Junus form was revealed before everyone. This was the first time anyone had witnessed an Ultraman changing forms. The novelty was staggering. He changed color. Noah can actually change color. What does the color change even mean? Does it mean an Ultraman has more than one form? Noah could not have just gotten even stronger, right? It is just a color swap, that is all. How much stronger could he possibly get? Can't beat the enemy. Just change your color and you are good to go. You have got to be kidding me, Noah. Stop with all these flashy tricks. Can you actually take down this monster or not? I do not know, it feels like Ultraman Noah has become way more powerful after changing color. I am getting that vibe too. Go for it, Ultraman Noah. Is it possible that Ultraman Noah turned red just because he has reached his operating temperature? That is a great theory. Don't ever say it again. Operating temperature, my foot. How could an Ultraman just heat up? He fights until his whole body turns red. Isn't that exactly what heating up means? Zip it. If you have got nothing smart to say, do not say anything at all. If Qin Yu knew that switching to his Junus red form would be called overheating by these people, he would probably die laughing on the spot. The Beijing mecha base is seeing the color change too. What is going on? Ultraman can actually change colors. Li Lingling and the others never mentioned this before. What does this color shift actually do? Director Li stared at the screen, watching Nexus, who had already transformed into Junus red. His mind was filled with confusion. At that moment, a technician reported, "Director, according to the system display, after Ultraman Noah turned red, his energy index began to skyrocket. The danger level has far exceeded 10.0. It has reached an uncalculable level." Hearing the technician's words, Director Li was beyond shocked. What do you mean, far exceeding 10.0? Even uncalculable? This is insane. Could it be that Noah's red form is an evolution, one that makes his combat power even more formidable? From what we can see, yes. With Ultraman Noah's current strength, the probability of defeating the monster is very high. This is incredible. Ultraman Noah was already strong enough to think he can still evolve to boost his combat power. Does he even have a limit? I wonder if Lingling and the others have this ability. Director Li immediately thought of Li Lingling and the other two in their trio, though their individual power is not great right now. Maybe they can be like Noah, evolving into a much more powerful state. Their combat power would surge instantly. Well, a man's got to dream. Who knows, it might just come true. Over in the USA, they were also stunned by Qin Yu's form change. The 5 Ultramen from the USA, including Great, said, "Wait, what? How can Ultraman Noah change color like that? And he went from silver to a red color just like ours. What the hell is this?" The 5 of them combined don't even have a single form change ability between them. This kind of form switching maneuver really pushed the boundaries of their knowledge. Commander Mark pondered for a moment. Perhaps this is an inherent ability that all Ultramen possess. You guys have it too. You just do not know how to use it yet. Moving forward, your training should focus heavily on this aspect. See if you can follow Ultraman Noah's lead and develop a more powerful form. The 5 of them responded in unison, but they did not realize, no matter how much they trained, they could train until they die and still never switch forms, because the Ultraman they transformed into simply did not have the ability to change forms at all. Without ability, no matter how hard you try, it is impossible. Noah, I did not expect you to evolve into this form. Not bad at all. Get stronger as fast as you can. The more powerful you become, the more amused I will be. Ha ha ha. The mysterious man is also shocked by Qin Yu's form change, but after the surprise comes pure delight. He can't wait for Qin Yu to grow even stronger. Qin Yu takes a moment to sense the change. The difference between this and his silver Anfin's form is night and day. He feels a surge of immense power coursing through his body. It leaves him absolutely exhilarated. So this is the power of the Junis Red form. Truly extraordinary. It is far superior to the silver Anfin's form. With this, I should be able to take down Bugbazin with ease. The insectoid space beast knows no fear. It charges straight ahead regardless. Qin Yu crosses his arms to gather energy, then flings them wide. He unleashes the Crescent Moon Light Blade at the insectoid beast. This specific move is a technique only usable in Nexus's Junis form. The light energy possesses incredible destructive power. Boom, the Crescent Moon Light Blade strikes the beast. The beetle-like carapace that Qin Yu previously could not dent is now easily pierced through. The insectoid beast howls in agony. Qin Yu shows no mercy to this monster. He is going to finish it while it is down. He leaps into the air, performing a backflip to land right behind the beast. He aims at the creature, specifically the wound previously opened by Li Lingling's trio with their combined beam attack. He delivers a relentless barrage of heavy punches. The sheer strength of the Junis Red form is terrifying. Every single strike deals critical damage to the insectoid beast. The creature writhes in unbearable pain. It tries to turn around and counterattack, but Qin Yu pins its tail down with his foot. He gives it zero chance to turn back. After an uncountable number of hits, he finally gathers energy in his palm. A finishing blow with a hand blade shimmering in golden light. Boom, with one last cry. The beast, battered by this ferocious sequence, is left mortally wounded. Its body collapses weakly. It lies on the ground, half dead. Just moments ago, it was acting so arrogant. A powerful monster that took down 3 Ultramen in an instant is now being dismantled so effortlessly by Qin Yu. The spectators are completely dumbfounded. My god, Noah is way too strong. He defeated the monster so easily. I knew Ultraman Noah was the GOAT. Noah, you are my god. Turns out Noah was just sandbagging earlier. To think he could be this formidable, that is a real eye-opener. If I were a monster, I would run for my life the second I saw Noah. There is no way I am fighting him. Do you think monsters have human intelligence? They are incredibly stupid. They have no clue what they are up against. We won. We finally won. Noah, you did not let us down. In the end, you came out on top. This is fantastic. Defeating the monster is a win for everyone. Some people are already popping the champagne. Qin Yu looks at the fallen beast and begins to charge his energy. He is preparing the overlap storm to end the battle. This beam is the ultimate finisher only available in Junis form. Its power is on another level. As the cross-storm energy builds up, lightning energy surges around his arms. Just looking at the visual effects is insane. Anyone can see the sheer power of this move. Crossover storm. A blue and white energy beam fires from his wrist, striking the insectoid space beast. Compared to ordinary light beam techniques, the crossover storm appears much more graceful. The insectoid space beast that was hit did not explode like people expected. Instead, its entire body turned into blue-white light particles, dissipating rapidly, without leaving a single trace. It looked remarkably beautiful. Ding dong ding dong. After taking down the enemy, Qin Yu's transformed Ultraman Nexus finally saw his warning light flash for the first time. Although the Junis Red form is powerful, it is an absolute stamina drainer. And this is without Qin Yu even opening the meta field. If the meta field were activated, the physical burden would be even greater, and the transformation time would be much shorter. Host has eliminated the insectoid space beast Bugbazin. Junis blue form unlock progress increased by 25%, currently at 30%. Unlocking the Junis blue form is clearly much harder than the Junis red form. A danger level 10.0 space beast only provided a 25% unlock progress. Qin Yu felt his body growing weak and he could not even be bothered to strike a cool pose. He raised both hands and flew toward the sky. Vanishing from sight, the survivors began to celebrate their narrow escape, feeling lucky that Ultraman Noah was there. Otherwise, this terrifying insect monster would have been enough to bring the world to the brink of destruction. Not just Beijing City, the entire Blue Star might have ceased to exist. While watching Qin Yu's battle, Mac from the USA was also keeping a close eye on the trends on Dragon Country's internet. This battle was different from the previous ones, although there was no global live stream. Since it happened in the city center, many people witnessed it firsthand. Many people started live streams on their phones, broadcasting the situation live. Others took photos and videos to post online, quickly causing a massive sensation on the web. Right now, the hottest topic online is Ultraman Noah. Chameleon Mac. He felt the opportunity to expose Qin Yu's identity had arrived. I think this is a great chance. This battle of Ultraman Noah has already sparked heated discussions on Dragon Country's network. The hype is through the roof. If we take this moment to expose Ultraman Noah's true identity, the whole world will definitely know about it. Chuck said, then let us expose him. Let the whole world know that the powerful Ultraman Noah is actually from Dragon Country. That way, if other countries have Ultraman, they will be wary of Dragon Country's strength. When that happens, Dragon Country and Noah will become everyone's target. Everyone thought this was a brilliant idea and agreed one after another. So from that moment on the Dragon Country network, a large number of posts revealing Ultraman Noah's identity began to appear. Qin Yu was still unaware of the USA's actions. The battle just now had severely drained his stamina. At this time, he could only rely on eating to recover his strength quickly. The scope of the battle was only near the school, so it did not affect the entire city. Many shops were still operating normally. Qin Yu just found a random fast food joint. He was eating while scrolling through his phone. There were many voices bashing Qin Yu online, but also many voices supporting him. Watching it all, he actually started laughing. Oh please. They are saying I upgraded to the Junus Red form because I was overheating. Those Red Tribe Ultramen like Seven and Taro, aren't they all just hot-headed red and buffs? These netizens are hilarious, claiming I only intervened after Grigio and the other two were defeated, just to intentionally screw them over. TCH, I do not owe them a damn thing. I have never taken a single penny from them either. Why should I care if they live or die? The fact that I did not step in to snatch their energy is already the height of benevolence. What more do they want from me? If they keep pushing my buttons and get me riled up, I will just sacrifice all three of them to help me level up into Noah. Actually, that sounds like a pretty solid plan. I will train those three a bit, make them a lot stronger. Ideally, they can fuse into Ultraman group. Then I will devour their combined energy. That might be way more potent than absorbing them individually. As he was browsing, Qin Yu suddenly spotted a specific post. It was about revealing the true identity of Ultraman Noah. Lately, plenty of people online have been speculating about Noah's identity and origins. There are tons of posts like this. Qin Yu originally clicked in just to see the drama, but he did not expect the very first sentence from the blogger would shock him. In reality, Ultramen are just humans who obtain special powers. Every single one of them was once human. Currently, no official government has publicly admitted that Ultramen are actually humans. Most people believe Ultramen are some kind of biological entity similar to Kaiju, except they have more intelligence than the monsters, which is why they do not destroy cities like Kaiju do, or harm humanity. With just that first sentence, the blogger exposed the truth about Ultramen being human. It seems this blogger actually knows their stuff. Qin Yu scrolled down to the comment section. Most people were just bashing the blogger, thinking the blogger's viewpoint was completely ridiculous. Ultramen are transformed humans. That is way too absurd. How could a human turn into a giant tens of meters tall and possess such overwhelming power? Blogger, why do not you say you are an Ultraman too? Yes, I admit it, I am an Ultraman. The jig is up. I am not hiding it anymore. Do you guys seriously believe this? Humans can transform into Ultraman. I am human, therefore I am an Ultraman. Makes sense. Turns out I was an Ultraman all along. The sarcasm in the thread was through the roof. Keep going, blogger. So Ultramen are humans. Single quote. Then what kind of person is Ultraman Noah? You guys upstairs can't actually believe this, right? There is no way Ultramen are humans. I am calling it right now. If Ultramen are really transformed humans, single quote, I will do a handstand while eating crap. Nice try, just looking for a free meal are not you. After browsing the comments for a while, Qin Yu noticed the blogger was not arguing with the netizens. Instead, he let them express their opinions freely. Finally, he reached the blogger's second point in the post. Given the current situation, single quote, since Ultraman Noah has only appeared in Beijing City, Single quote, we can make a bold guess. Ultraman Noah likely lives in Beijing City. He might even be a local. This point was actually quite easy to deduce. Chin Yu was not surprised in the least. The netizens in the comments didn't have much to say against this particular point either. He kept scrolling down. Ultraman Noah once proactively attacked the Beijing Mecha base and trashed many of the base's mecha units. This proves that Noah's host, single quote, highly likely has a grudge against the Beijing Mecha base. Single quote, or specifically against someone at the Beijing Mecha base.